This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth. For a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Do you think astronauts fight over elbow room? Probably. Because advanced tech doesn't always mean more space. Until now. Introducing the Hyundai Ioniq 9, a 3-row electric SUV with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and lots of space. The all-new Hyundai Ioniq 9. Space in an EV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Ioniq 9 is available in extremely limited quantities at select dealers in select states only. EPA estimated range based on fully charged battery. For comparison purposes only. Actual range will vary based on several factors.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, few things will make you appreciate your life quite like almost dying. A brush with death, and as a way of reminding us that we prefer being alive. Now, we brought up the story yesterday of a Chinese paraglider. He went from gliding at about 9,000 feet to gliding at 28,000 feet after getting caught in something called a cloud suck. And in spite of how stupid the name is, it's a dangerous thing if you're paragliding. He had to survive in minus 40-degree temperatures and suffered from oxygen deprivation. Again, because he was 28,000 feet up in the air and a paraglider, but he did survive. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, a first-time hang glider, he had to hang on for dear life after the pilot forgot to hook him into the tandem safety harness. You see, he thought he was going to die. They jumped off the cliff. We watched the video. You see his full body weight just drop. He's hanging on for dear life for 2 minutes until they can circle it around. Now, he did not die, but he thought he was going to. But what's worse, thinking you're going to die or finding out that other people think you're already dead. In the Czech Republic, 88-year-old woman, she was nearly buried alive, but she woke up in a coffin. In India, morgue workers were shocked when the dead man that they were about to cremate woke up. And in Kenya, a guy woke up in the morgue when they started to embalm him. Basically, they made an incision on his leg. He woke up screaming. That's basically what happened, man. Yeah, he was 32 years old. And then right here in Seattle, there's an 82-year-old man. Now, he lost his Social Security benefits because Social Security declared him dead. He's not dead. And he had to spend 2 months trying to convince him that he's not dead to get his Social Security back. And we have a ton of stories like these. But first, we want to hear your stories in the form of an answer to today's question, brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration. Today, we want to know, was it you or someone else who had the close call?
To be a part of the Big Show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth for a healthier heart for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Do you think astronauts fight over elbow room? Probably. Because advanced tech doesn't always mean more space. Until now. Introducing the Hyundai Ioniq 9, a 3-row electric SUV with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and lots of space. The all-new Hyundai Ioniq 9. Space in an EV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Ioniq 9 is available in extremely limited quantities at select dealers and select states only. EPA estimated range based on fully charged battery. For comparison purposes only. Actual range will vary based on several factors.
No matter why your clients give, a donor-advised fund from DAF Giving 360 makes charitable giving simple and efficient. They can get a tax deduction upon funding an account, and their assets can potentially grow tax-free as they recommend when and where to give. DAF Giving 360 has over 25 years of expertise bringing donors, financial advisors, and charities together to make a greater impact. Learn more at dafgiving360.org/advisors.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah!
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
like I have the power!
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch. Oh, but y'all, away we go. Welcome to the 20th anniversary season, episode number 4,330. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Once again, we'll be joined by Taryn Daly and Steve Mix from the Daily Mix Morning Show. We are back to letters on Sit and Spin at 4:30. The top rock bands for every letter of the alphabet. Mm-hmm. Now, this is round 2. So we've gone through round 1. For an example, I believe last time we did this, say a band that starts with B, all right?
Uh-huh.
So top rock band starts with B.
Beatles.
That's the easy one.
Whether
right?
you agree or not, you know
Bon Jovi
Beatles.
they're a great rock band too. But when you look at the legacy of what they consider rock music,
it's going to be the Beatles.
The Beatles,
the Beatles never had a Live It On a Prayer.
No, they didn't.
No, they did not. And they were the first. They were the big one, and so they are the band. When it comes to letters, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling Stones for R.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think there's a better R band than the Rolling Stones. You get the idea. When you get down to the W's of the world, you're thinking about the Who. Or you're thinking about, I don't know, well, maybe Whitesnake. I know you like Whitesnake.
The Who.
It's the Who. It's the Who. Exactly. All right, let's think of another one.
White Lion.
It could be Warrant.
No, it couldn't.
All right, T.
Tesla.
No.
I really like Tesla.
T.
But
I like Tesla a lot. T.
Tower of Power.
But it can't be the.
Right.
And it's not Tesla?
Well,
I doubt it.
We don't know.
I would doubt it's Tesla, but I don't know.
Man.
We got to be missing someone obvious, man.
Well, there's a lot of T bands out there, but
T-Rex.
Yeah.
I know they're not going to be number one. I'm just trying to think of T bands.
Huh. God, that's a tough one.
Why are we not coming up with
the top
anything?
T-rock band of all time? What could it be? Man.
I'm not
thinking like Temptations.
We did go over that.
It's not the Temptations.
Right. Very good, but probably not going to be the number one quote-unquote rock band, right?
Tool, baby?
Tool. There we go. Tool.
Thank
you. Yeah.
I mean, I'll take Tool over Tesla.
All right, we'll just assume it's going to be Tool. You get the
but
idea.
We don't know.
Right, we don't.
It is Tool.
Oh, it is.
All
okay.
right.
All right. Well, see, Mike, you got the list.
Exactly.
So you'll give us the letter, then we'll try to guess the band coming up as we'll sit and spin at 4:30.
And it's just rock, or it would have been T-Pain.
Good call. Good call. Could have been Tupac.
Better call.
Yeah.
I was just being a smartass.
Either way. Speaking of Taryn Daly and Steve Miggs, they will be doing their show Monday at the Miles Montgomery Golf Classic, presented by our friends at Pinky's Plumbing. They're going to do their show starts at 6 o'clock. They will be at the clubhouse. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of parking there. If you want to go and just hang out, the clubhouse and the bar and restaurant open at 6 a.m. So Monday morning, if you want to stop over, catch the show, get some breakfast, get a beverage in you, maybe enjoy a day off.
Right, even if you're not playing golf, you could be
can
there
still
and
stop
watch
by.
the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully you can do that. And today on the question, we take a page from a couple stories that we had yesterday, and these stories are just absolutely insane. We brought up the one with the paraglider. This guy was over in China. Now he was doing doing a test of his paraglider. And he was at, I want to say, 10,000 feet.
Yeah, not between 9 and 10, right.
Somewhere in there. And he gets sucked up into this thing, right?
A cloud suck.
A cloud suck. And he reached an altitude of 28,210 feet. To give you an idea, that is the same height as Mount Everest.
Mm-hmm.
He could not see. He was actually sucked into a cloud.
Yeah.
He did not know if he was going up or down. He had no idea where he was. He believes he lost consciousness
a couple of times
for a little while. And keep in mind, as far as trying to be acclimated to altitude at that quick of a pace,
right?
You know, it takes those guys on Everest weeks to be able to get that height.
And this dude did it in about 15 seconds when
he had no
sucked
idea.
him
He
up.
just went, and now he's up there. The thing is that he's being videoed. He's got a video on his paraglider, and he is completely encased in ice. His hands, his face, his beard, his helmets. He looks like he is frozen like Han Solo.
He does.
I mean, he is just, but you still see the guy is alive. Somehow he managed to get this thing down. Now, I guess he's been doing it for maybe 6 years or so, but he did not expect this. He says, I felt the oxygen deficiency in my hands. They were freezing. I did keep communicating through the intercom. In this cloud suck, it's well documented. A phenomenon where paragliders and hang gliders experience a lift. I don't know if this happens at Poo-Poo Point, but it seems like once every, 2 or 3 years, you get the story in Como about the guy who's sitting in a tree someplace, and he got sucked up or pushed or whatever by the wind.
What?
The mountain that Mike likes to hike.
All right.
It's Poo-Poo Point. They do a lot of, I don't know if it's paragliding, hang gliding, whatever the hell it is, right? But these guys will get caught up in a weird wind little jam.
Oh, you mean the guys on the hang gliders themselves?
Yeah,
right. Blown into a tree.
Get totally messed up.
Okay.
And then they end up...
I thought you were saying there were people climbing trees who suddenly got blown out of them.
I'm sure someone's got to climb up there to get their ass out.
Oh, yeah.
But they get stuck up there quite a bit. Either way, this guy somehow survived, and he is okay. So that's the first story. Then we have the guy in Alaska. Now, he was pinned face down, think about this, in an icy creek by a 700-pound boulder for 3 hours.
That's Mike's dream right there.
He survived the ordeal with only minor injuries, thanks in large part to his wife. So Kelmore's his wife held his head above the water, and that kept him from drowning while they were waiting for rescuers. So she held his head up for 3 hours as he was pinned by the boulder, which crashed onto him during a hike. I believe that they started this little mini landslide that occurred.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah. He had another stroke of luck, by the way. Believe it or not.
What was the first stroke of luck? You interpret luck differently than I. He had a stroke of luck. What? That a 700-pound boulder landed on your back in a river, and you happened to be with your wife who's holding your head up?
The first stroke was in the fact that his wife was there, able to hold his head up.
Lucky.
Second stroke of luck came when a sled dog tourism company, only in Alaska, that operates on the glacier, overheard the 911 dispatch, offered up its helicopter to ferry rescuers to the scene, which was basically inaccessible to any all-terrain vehicles or anything else. Now, once the rescuers got there, it took 7 men and inflatable airbags to lift the boulder off of him as he drifted in and out of consciousness. He is 61 years old. He used to be a Alaska State Trooper.
All right.
So he's pretty much a badass.
Yeah, tough dude.
If you're going to be a state trooper anywhere, Alaska's probably one of the harder states to do that.
They have a whole show about it.
You're right. Yeah, they do.
It's called Alaska State Troopers.
I've never watched it, but I see it on the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
The trail was a rocky creek bed lined with large boulders. Morris said he noticed dangerous boulders, some weighing up to 1,000 pounds along the allergies. Along the banks of the creek and avoided them the best he could until he ran into an area that he could not pass. I was coming back and everything, the whole side slid out from under me. So he basically started this thing. He said things became a blur as he tumbled down the embankment about 20 feet. Then a 700-pound boulder basically landed on top of him and pushed him into a creek in freezing cold water. His wife tried to free him for about 30 minutes. Eventually, The 7 guys got there. They had inflatable balls that they were pumping up that rock, which actually tumbled down the mountain after they lifted it off of him.
Yeah.
They were able to pull his ass out of there. So he is, needless to say, lucky to be alive. And that is a crazy situation to be in. Then we have the story of 3 people who have been rescued from the Atlantic Ocean in the dark after their plane went down several miles offshore off the coast of Florida.
That is my nightmare. In the middle of the ocean
they're in a
at night.
They're in a Cessna.
Right. Your plane crashed. I mean, you take everything that I think is horrible, put it in one scenario. This is pretty much it.
During the evening of June 1st,
damn,
Fort Pierce Marine Unit was alerted by the Indian River Shores Police Department that a single-engine Cessna had crashed approximately 2 to 3 miles offshore in the dark. They immediately responded and arrived at the location and joined search and rescue efforts that were already underway by the U.S. Coast Guard. A helicopter was able to locate 3 heat signatures in the water, which led to a focus search in the area at approximately 10 o'clock on Sunday night. They located 2 survivors before finding the 3rd one shortly after and bringing him on board as well. The survivor identified himself as the pilot, confirmed that there were only 3 individuals on board. They all survived the crash. Agents assessed the pilot's condition, monitored his vitals. Basically, they let everyone out of the hospital after a quick evaluation.
Did they say how long they were in the water before search got there? I know they immediately started the search.
They do not.
But that doesn't mean you find them quick.
They don't say how long that they were in the water, but apparently they got there pretty quick. But they were all taken to a local hospital for treatment, and they were all released that evening.
Damn.
That is crazy.
How was your day? Well, I was on a plane crash in the ocean, got rescued, and now I'm back home.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even believe someone. If they walked into the bar, like, dude, you look like S. Like, you're not going to believe this. I was on a plane. Okay. We crashed into the ocean. All right. We were rescued. Sure. Taken to the hospital and released, and now I'm at the bar. I would call BS instantly.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Right. Crazy.
Sorry, I got to turn my mic on. That's kind of a power move, though.
I mean, it is when you find out it's true, but I'd be like, you're telling me you were in a plane crash today in the middle of the freaking ocean. You got rescued, went to the hospital. There's nothing wrong with you, and now you're out of the bar.
Yeah.
I would not be okay, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I would go directly to the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't want to be, I want all shots. In fact, just leave the bottle here and just charge me for what I drink. But I'm going to drink a lot.
I also wouldn't pay.
Wouldn't pay what?
I'd just walk in there and be like, look, I was in a plane crash. I just got rescued from the ocean. Somebody buy me a drink.
Maybe.
If somebody said that to me, I'd be like, you crazy SOB. Here you go.
You'd have to prove it, though. Like,
I'm
look,
still
man,
wet.
Yeah.
I didn't change or nothing.
I didn't shower.
Straight here.
I came straight out of the hospital. I was in the Puget Sound 2 hours ago. Buy me a shot.
Exactly. That's what happened to me, man, when I got hit by lightning. But
Right.
I did not realize the significance of it until later.
What do you mean?
Well,
The significance of getting hit by lightning?
I knew we had been struck by lightning. When we sat up, because the people who came down in the golf carts told us that we had been struck by lightning. Once we got Rob up, I knew things were going to be a lot better because he's
not dead.
He did not seem very well off at first. My other buddy Brian, he was struggling a little bit, but I think he was just more trying to get his bearings together as far as where he was and what was happening.
Sure.
Because he did not, at the time, he did not remember that we were golfing. So when I got up, I remembered exactly where we were.
Yeah.
So I knew what we were doing. So he did not remember anything, which was a little bit weird. Rob knew we were golfing. He was the one who got it the worst. But so anyway, we ended up going to the hospital because of Rob. Brian and I were okay. We waited until Rob's parents showed up at the hospital.
Right.
At that point in time, he was going to be in there a little bit longer than we were. We were fine. We were waiting. We were also not allowed to kind of be in that vicinity because we were not family.
Of course.
So we're just kind of waiting in the ER. And this is early in the morning. We're like, you know what? Once we got the clear and his mom came down and said, he's fine. They've just got to do a couple more things.
Yeah.
But we think that we're going to be here for another couple hours. Then Brian and I went, all right, well, the hell with it. So we go to a bar.
Did you get free drinks?
No.
See, Ted?
No, we did not.
Wow, they're crazy college kids.
But I mean, trust me.
Nobody bought you a free drink?
That was the first thing out of our mouth when we got to Mario's. There was this bar called Mario's. It was a pizza parlor, sports bar.
A place called Mario's.
Yes.
Had pizza. I will be damned.
It was either a Saturday, I think it was a Sunday because football was on. We're like, look, It's 11:30. We're just going to go and get lunch. We're starting to drink right now. Blah, 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 blah. Well, and we understood the significance of it. But then we played that golf course about 2 weeks later.
Okay.
Now, the people who saw basically where we were at the bottom of the hill away from the clubhouse. When that storm rolled in, every other reason, we were on also the 9th hole.
Okay.
That's why the clubhouse could see us. So we were almost
right.
done.
You're at the turn.
So we're almost there. So we're just trying to get this one hole in. The way the skies,
then you'll take cover, right?
Then we'll take cover. The way the skies were looking at the time, they were dark at first, and then they became very bright. Now there was a weird feeling in the air.
Is that staticky kind of feeling? That's what I've heard explained.
It got real weirdly bright, but it was dark around us, and that's the best way I can describe it. When they got us up there, it didn't take long because we were actually we were walking on the golf course, and the carts came down, like 5 of them down the hill. When I looked up, and it was pouring rain at that point. When we got hit by lightning, there was not a drop of rain. So we were kind of playing that game too. Like, look, it's not raining yet. We will get up there. It's definitely coming. We'll eat some lunch. We'll wait for this to pass. We'll keep on playing. Everyone else had already sought shelter. They were up in there. So we didn't realize how many people saw us hit. Apparently that bolt of lightning was massive. And the explosion and the sound of it hitting that tree was insane. The fire that shot off the tree, and we didn't know any of this.
Right.
We knew the tree was on fire when we got up.
But you didn't actually see the tree.
We didn't see
hit.
it. Yeah. We didn't hear it. Like, my ears were ringing. Everyone's ears were ringing. But they thought, honest to God, everyone who saw us said we basically just fell like rag dolls.
Yeah.
So we were standing.
It's not like the movies. You just
we were not blown out or anything like that. We just fell hard and quick. And they were all like, oh, my God, they're dead. So everyone in that clubhouse thought we were dead, for sure. There was no question that we survived this. And, we did not know that perspective that day. No one said that. No one said that when we got up there.
That's not the time to tell you.
We thought you were dead for sure.
Yeah.
I know, but when you're alive and everyone's okay, you think like, dude,
we thought you were dead.
Right. No one said that. But a couple weeks later, we get to the course and, everyone's like, we cannot believe that all you guys are okay. You had to see this to believe it, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I'm like, okay. Then we get to that 9th hole that day again, and I see the destruction that was caused by that lightning that I didn't really pay attention to at the time.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, my God. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, look at this, man. I'm like, Brian, look at this. This is insane. What happened, where we were right here. Look, that branch could have fell. That branch could have fell. And they had, at that point in time, they were in the process of slowly taking that tree down. They hadn't taken the whole damn thing down. This is 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So the tree's still kind of halfway there, but they're taking down a branch at a time or whatever, ones that were hanging and all that crap. Maybe seeing if they could save a portion of it. But, I mean, that thing was as black as coal.
I've never obviously been struck by lightning. But years ago, me and my buddy Leon, we're going to a house party. It is literally 5 blocks straight up the same street. It's downtown Baltimore-ish, all right? Sewebo, Southwest Baltimore. I remember it was dumping rain out, nothing new on the East Coast. There's thunder and lightning, nothing new on the East Coast, so you don't give it much thought. But we stop at the bar. We each buy a case of bottles. I do not remember what brand of beer, but not expensive. All right. And the bartender there gives us each a black hefty bag because the rain is dumping. He knew we were going like 3 more blocks up the street, blah, blah, blah. He's kind of chuckling about it, hands us trash bags. We poke a little hole. So now we're wearing the trash bags over our shoulders. Heads are still exposed, and we each have our own case of beer kind of under the trash bag. And at this point, we're not running. We're like, dude, we're already soaking wet. Just walk. We step out of this bar. We make a left to go up the street. I want to say we made about half a block. The tree on the other side of the street got hit by lightning, and it is unbelievable because you can't predict it. Like I said, there's lightning going all around. We're not particularly worried about getting struck, but this tree, I mean, directly across the street, basically blows in half. And like you said, it's the fire and the sparks that shoot off of it, and half of the tree is just kind of gone. The other side is black, like you're saying. I mean, this thing blew it out, but it freaked us the F out, and we took off running. But Leon dropped his case of beers. All 24 bottles broke, which later became our big problem with him. Like when we got to the party, we're like, dude, we had 2 cases. I swear to God, the tree got hit by lightning. Nobody believed us. So we all kind of run down there. We pointed at the tree, and we're like, holy ass, this was a big, big-ass tree that had been there for like 200 years and just gone.
Yeah, I mean, I was a kid. I remember lightning hit a transformer right above us in a car.
That's got to be the loudest sound.
Oh, my God. And I mean, we were just screaming. And it seemed like there was lightning bolts all over. I mean, I can remember like it was yesterday. We're coming back from Errol's video, which was like a precursor to Blockbuster.
Which is a precursor to Netflix.
Yeah, and like I remember being in the car, and there was so many bolts of lightning. One would flash, and then like my brother ran in. Then we'd wait for another flash. Then I would run in. Like we were that scared.
I think it was a maple tree. But so 2 weeks later, we go back. You could see where the root system underneath the tree, where the roots were closer to the top, they were all black too. They were still,
there's like a root pattern in the ground.
They were still in the ground. But you could see the black. I mean, it fried the whole damn tree. I mean, it was insane. It was like this big spider web of just burnt roots.
Does it make you feel weird when you go back to the quote unquote scene of the crime?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
then it really kind of hit you. You know, then you went, oh man, this was not a joke. This was pretty terrifying.
It's weird because you don't expect to have that reaction. But like when I cut my arm. It was what it was, hit an artery, bleed out, blah, blah, blah. Go to the hospital. I'm in there for 3 or 4 days, and I just want to go home. And I remember I get dropped off on my front doorstep, and that's where my arm had gone through the glass. And they'd cleaned it up. So it's not like there's blood stains or anything like that. They'd repaired the glass that I went through. There was no evidence that anything bad had happened other than my memory of having been there. And I can't explain it, man. It was just weird. You know, I mean, this is where I live. And all of a sudden I'm looking at my own place like, God, it's a weird, horrible feeling. Just if something bad happens in this place, that is the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah, I did not enjoy that at all, man.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average, and auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth. For a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Do you think astronauts fight over elbow room? Probably. Because advanced tech doesn't always mean more space. Until now. Introducing the Hyundai Ioniq 9. A 3-row electric SUV with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and lots of space. The all-new Hyundai Ioniq 9. Space in an EV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Ioniq 9 is available in extremely limited quantities at select dealers and select states only. EPA estimated range based on fully charged battery. For comparison purposes only. Actual range will vary based on several factors.
No matter why you give, your donations can do so much more with a donor-advised fund from DAF Giving 360. You can get a tax deduction upon funding an account, and your assets can potentially grow tax-free as you recommend when and where to give. It's a tax-smart way to maximize your charitable giving from a fund with over 25 years of expertise bringing donors, financial advisors, and charities together. Make a greater impact with DAF Giving 360. Learn more at dafgiving360.org.
This Bosch 2-in-1 impact driver rules.
Oh, yeah!
That couldn't have been
Macho Man Randy Savage indeed, yeah. A.K.A. You're in a Bosch. I'm a macho manifestation of that feeling you get when you use that 2-in-1 impact driver.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, say it with your chest, brother. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
We'll work on that.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Nick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
So long story short, this would probably be 2009, 2010. I was held captive or a prisoner in a vehicle as the driver escaped and evaded a high-speed police chase.
What exactly was the scenario that all this went down?
What an Uber ride.
So I was hanging out with this guy that I knew, and I didn't know he had a warrant out for his arrest. So every time he would pass by a police officer, he would kind of freak out and turn around and drive a different direction.
That's very subtle.
I mean, where we were at located in the Lake Tahoe area, it goes from 4 lanes to 2 lanes quite quickly every now and then. So the police kind of caught on to this and decided to pull him over. At a stop, he's happy, bubbly, and just enjoying himself. And he looks up at his rearview mirror and sees the police lights behind him. And he goes from this real positive human being to suddenly defeated. He ends up putting his vehicle in reverse, backing into the police cruiser.
What?
And takes off. Yes.
And you're in the car, and you have no idea that this is about to happen.
So the car's been
no clue.
The car has been pulled over, or you're in like a red light or a stop sign.
We were driving around Tahoe, and then there are certain areas where you can go down an embankment to go to like a lower housing community. So he figured he'd pull into this lower embankment and maybe escape the view of the police officers at the time. Upon doing so, police officer pulls up behind him and puts his lights on. That's where he then looks in his rearview mirror and notices what's going on. I had no idea this was going to happen, but again, he puts the car in reverse, backs into the police cruiser, and the police cruiser's flashing his lights, honking his horns, and he scrapes the side and then takes off.
And what are you thinking in this moment? As soon as he throws his car in reverse and hits the cop car, what is the thoughts in your mind?
I needed to get out of that vehicle as soon as possible.
Okay, all right. Second of all, what kind of vehicle does he have? Does he have a vehicle that's
it was a 2005-ish Durango.
Okay, all right.
So a bigger car.
Yeah, a bigger vehicle.
And now, does he explain to you that there is a warrant out for his arrest, or what are you thinking? Why are you thinking he's doing this?
I had no idea why he would do this to begin with. And the warrant didn't come out until much later. So he puts his vehicle in reverse, like I said, bumps into the police cruiser, and he takes off. He then takes off his seatbelt and locks the doors. So I can't roll down the window. I can't then attempt to escape the vehicle. So we're driving around, and...
How fast are you going, do you think?
25 to 45 is the mile per hour suggested MPH in the Lake Tahoe area. I want to say anywhere from 50 to 70.
Okay.
So if we were going down a 2-lane road, he would drive into oncoming traffic, force other motorists to pull off on the side of the road so he can then skip cars that were in his way.
Now, are you screaming or are you staying quiet?
Oh, I'm screaming my head off. I'm telling him, pull over, let me out. Like, I was literally scared for my life. And the fact that he took off his seatbelt made me believe and realize that he was going to go through this all the way or not at all.
All right. Okay. So how long does this chase last?
I want to say 15 minutes.
That is a long
I'm trying
time.
to get him to pull through an off street and then a secondary off street from that. So we're off of the main drag and then off of any other secondary streets, adjacent to that. So we can pull up into a wooded housing area to then get out of the vehicle.
And
we do so. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying we do so, and I'm freaking out at this point. I grab my wallet, I grab my car keys and my phone, and I take off towards what would have been the local populous area. And you see CHP, NHP, right? North Tahoe PD, Douglas County Sheriff's Department, police officers, motorcycle cops, just everywhere looking for this dark blue Durango. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle myself. That was like literally the single most scariest, other than being deployed overseas, event in my life that I had no control over.
Now, did you flag down cops? Did you disappear? Did they make any connection to you at all?
We ended up taking a taxi to State Line, South Lake Tahoe, and we go into one of the hotels over there, Harvey's Harris, and for whatever reason, my phone isn't working or it died. So I'm trying to use payphones at the time, to get a hold of a friend of mine to come pick us up. Meanwhile, he takes off. And with my phone being dead, I don't know where he went or what happened to him. So then I'm left in South Lake Tahoe by myself with a phone that's not working, my car keys, and obviously my debit cards.
But don't you think it's better that you were on your own than still in this guy's presence?
Oh, 100%. Yes,
okay. So where's your car?
Yes, my vehicle is at his place in Reno.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
So how do you sort all of this out? So at this point, you're at a hotel, your phone doesn't work, crazy dude is taken off, and you have no idea where. What's next?
I contact a buddy of mine in Reno who says he cannot come pick me up today, but I can tomorrow.
So did you get a hotel?
I ended up going to the club that night, meeting a bachelorette party, and ended up spending time with them that evening at a cabin in somewhere in South Lake.
So this kind of ended up in your favor, it seems.
It did, to an extent, yes, until I realized when my buddy the next day came to pick me up, we went back to his house, I was able to charge my phone. It was the wrong phone.
Oh, my
God. In his glove compartment where I put my initial phone, he had a secondary phone that looked just like mine. Same case, same everything. So I eventually, that next day, found my way back to his apartment where apparently there was some undercover police officers awaiting his arrival.
So when you go to get your car, they're waiting for you.
They are not waiting for me. They are waiting for said person.
But do they know that's you, or do they know that's him?
So I was not confronted by local law enforcement at that time. When I did go there, the buddy of mine who picked me up, he came with me because obviously I'm furious. Obviously, I have all these questions and concerns, and I need answers. So interestingly enough, I knock on the door. He opens the door. I go inside, find my actual phone, okay, and confront him about everything, and my buddy and I end up leaving.
What was his warrant for? Did he explain what his warrant was about?
I cannot recall. I don't. But, I mean, you have a warrant out for your arrest, and then you go and back into a police cruiser, so it's a hit and run on a law enforcement officer. Not doing too good.
No.
So did you ever find out what happened to this guy? Did he get arrested? Did he go to jail?
I heard he did later on that day get arrested, and it possibly did some time, yes. But as soon as I was able to grab my keys and my real phone, I was out of there and didn't look back.
Okay.
All right. That's probably the right decision.
Jesus Christ.
Good God, man.
That's horrifying.
That is. 15 minutes. And he's right. There's something about the guy undoing his seatbelt just makes it scarier.
Yeah.
Because at that point,
does that make you a better driver?
No, but my thought would be like, all right, if he's not wearing his seatbelt and we're going against traffic, this particular individual, at least in this moment, does not care if he lives or dies.
I don't
I'm
think he wants
like,
to die.
Like, I care a great deal. Like, hey, man, look.
Those trees, by the way, are huge there.
Like, do what you want to do. Can you drop me off? Like, look, just let me out of the damn car and then go do whatever it is you think you got to do.
Correct. It's kind of like when you see, like, murder-suicides. Like, if you're going to take yourself out.
Pick one. Right? Just not both, man. Come on.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right. So once upon a time in Kuwait, when I was stationed out there. We were out there for a combat contingency debt. And this was just before ISIS invaded Kuwait, by the way.
All right.
And so the whole trip started out as I had to get a package from DHL in the middle of Kuwait City because they wouldn't deliver to the base that I was on. So we weren't supposed to leave base. So me and a couple of my buddies, we decided, all right, we've got this 4-hour time frame. We can steal one of the vans from Motor Pool and head into Kuwait City. And none of our phones worked over there. And all we had was these little bitty wide that you could kind of...
I mean, phone's breaking up.
None of the phones work here either.
Oh, sorry about that.
Go ahead.
So we had these little bitty Wi-Fi hotspots that we brought along with us out from Kuwait. Because that's the only way we could use our phones out there. So we took one of those with us, but we forgot the charger code. So it died like 3/4 of the way in. So we're downtown Kuwait City. And mind you, we're just 3 hillbillies with, ball caps, blue jeans, and cowboy boots, and like T-shirts on in the middle of downtown Kuwait City. We stick out like a sore thumb. We have military haircuts, clean shaven. And next thing you know, everybody's starting to look at us, and everybody's starting to grab for their cell phones and everything, and everybody's starting making phone calls. And we start worrying. We're like, oh, dude, we don't have guns. We don't have nothing. We are just unarmed.
Well, I got to ask.
Where we're at, how to get out of there.
Okay, I have to ask. What was the important thing in this package? What was so important that this is worth it? Like, what do you know for a fact is in that box?
Oh, it was an RC car that I ordered offline.
All right. Okay.
Pass the time, dude.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was. I ordered it. Then they tried. Then they wouldn't deliver it, and we were super bored out there because there's nothing to do. It's the desert. It's just sand.
Yeah.
So we had the plan, and it just fell apart as it happened. So we start to panic, and we're just like, oh man, this is going to end badly because everybody's looking at us. They have not good looks on their face. They're making a bunch of phone calls. No one knows where we're at, what we're doing, nothing. So we start weaving in and out of traffic. We start, hauling the mail, trying to get to where we think we need to go, get there, get the box, and then we start heading back. Well, on the way back, we took a wrong turn and went the long way back to base. And on the way back, the gas light comes on this little van that we're driving. And it's a cab over van, and it's a little 5-speed manual. So we're flying through the desert. Can't see anything because it's just sand. And then this guy's walking his camels through the desert, and they jump out in the road. Now, we're doing 95 miles an hour in a little bitty cab over van, and we have to swerve off the road into the sand dunes to miss these 2 giant camels. And that was our second close call of our little bitty Operation RC car.
That's for the RC car.
Operation RC car.
Did you guys make it back okay?
Yes, we did.
Now, did
no
anyone
one was the wiser?
And no one knew that you guys snagged the van out of there.
No.
How is that? I mean, look, I'm not in the military, but it just seems like, when it comes to keeping inventory of certain things, I feel like vehicles are a lot easier than, say, silverware. If a van is missing.
You would think.
But it was only missing for the day, right?
It was only for like 3 or 4 hours. But if in the military, I have found out if you look important enough and you just walk with a purpose, with like a red folder in your hand, no one will talk. No one will ask you questions. You guys, any military person, you say, "Hey, what's it mean when somebody's either got a red folder in their hand and they're walking really fast and they're gonna be like, they're doing something important. You don't mess with that person."
Hey man, look, I believe in the same thing. Just walk fast and look angry. We snuck. That's the whole thing. But at Raven Stadium, just wanted to see if we could make it on the field. It's me and Miles, right? And you have to be credentialed. You have to go all the NFL stuff. Like, they don't F around. They're dead serious about this. But getting into the bowels of the stadium, wasn't so hard, like where catering is and all that. But our whole thing was, man, just walk with purpose and look pissed. And no one even batted an eye at us. And we're going through all these different, not quite security checkpoints, but there's security around.
Yeah,
but again,
everywhere.
They look at us. We must be important because we look angry and we are walking real fast against the crowd, right? So we get to the point where there's a final tunnel to get out on the field.
It's like 50 yards long. It's
right?
huge.
It's super long.
It's
so
huge.
You just see the semicircle of daylight at the end of the tunnel, and there's this one security guard sitting on a stool. And that's all he does. But there's nobody there. This is where the team comes out, right? So Miles and I, we have gotten through everything. If we get past this security guard, we're going to walk onto an NFL field during a game. We get up to the security guard, and this guy looks at us, and he's like, look, man, I don't know how you got here. I am not stupid. You need to go back. Wait a minute. This guy starts looking at Miles, and he goes, hey, man, are you Steve Austin? Which was your name on the classic one. So Miles is like, yeah, man. And he's like, dude, you gave me Journey tickets like 10 years ago. And he let her ass on the field.
Yeah. I was like, sweet, high five.
Because of Journey tickets 10 years ago. Man, go ahead. I didn't see nothing.
The lucky part is that we used to have this guy on our show every week, and he was the vice president of operations for the Ravens.
Yeah.
He would come on for an hour or two, just talk about anything other than football. Whatever was on this guy's mind.
And he was always all coked up and ready to go.
He wanted to talk about whatever was going on in his life. So, so we see him when we get. So the way the tunnel works, you go up the stairs.
Yeah, to get onto the field.
To get onto the field. So we go up the stairs, and I go, David! And he turns around, and he's like, oh, my God.
Just a look on his face.
And he looks at us like, what? How in the hell?
Yeah, very much.
Did you guys get down
He
here?
doesn't say it, but his face definitely says.
And it's during the game, right?
Oh, the game is full.
Yeah.
And
right. NFL field access is super hard.
It's real, and what's funny because the players are sitting there too, and there's a guy named Dallas Thomas at the time. He's like a defensive end or something, and we'd interviewed him a couple times over the years. And there he's breathing all heavy, covered in sweat, and he does a double take. Like he looks over, sees us, but because he knows who we are, it's not a big deal. And then in about 2 seconds, you could tell a light bulb went off in his head, like, oh yeah, for you.
So the director of communications for the Ravens, a guy named Kevin Byrne, he still might be there. He looked at us and went, "Who are those two?" And then another guy that we knew, Chad Steele,
Chad the Pink,
who is Paige Steele's brother, looked at us.
Sage Steele.
Sage Steele. Looked at us and
Paige
went,
Steele sounds hot.
No, it really does.
All Paige.
God, there's not an ugly Paige.
No, it's not.
If your name is Paige, you're hot.
But he looked at us like, "You've got to be kidding!"
Right? Again, no one's saying
gotta
anything.
be kidding.
But they're kind of amused, but also really irritated because again,
this is after 9/11. So security has been beefed up a little bit more on everything in life.
And it's game time, right?
That's the thing with the NFL. They're pretty famous for, like, you'll see celebrities on the field pregame.
Yeah.
Actually, your brother knows. I mean, they sweep that field.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
like college sidelines, that's where you see the celebrities hanging out during the game. But generally on an NFL game, they know exactly how many people should be down there.
Some guy that works for the NFL, this bitter old man, I remember he rolls up to us, and we're just like, oh, no, right? He beelines for us, and his words were, what is your function here? And we said, oh, man, we're guests of the owner's son. And we point over to David Modell. Keep in mind, we're not his guest. He is just acknowledged.
He's like, what are you doing?
So this guy from the NFL, I mean, again, because he looks at us like bull ass. Walks over to David Modell. And we can't hear the conversation, but you see this guy like with that kind of stabby point toward me and Miles. And I always remember David Modell, he's wearing a suit, he has his back to us, and his arms are folded. And this guy's yipping in his ear about these two idiots that are on the field. Modell turns around, looks at us, says something to the guy from the NFL. The guy from the NFL comes storming back to us. He's like, okay, you can stay here. Like, yes. So when we see David Modell later, he's like, don't ever effing do that again. We're like, we don't need to. We did it once. It was awesome.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth. For a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Do you think astronauts fight over elbow room? Probably. Because advanced tech doesn't always mean more space. Until now. Introducing the Hyundai Ioniq 9. A 3-row electric SUV with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and lots of space. The all-new Hyundai Ioniq 9. Space in an EV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Ioniq 9 is available in extremely limited quantities at select dealers in select states only. EPA estimated range based on fully charged battery. For comparison purposes only. Actual range will vary based on several factors.
No matter why your clients give, a donor-advised fund from DAF Giving 360 makes charitable giving simple and efficient. They can get a tax deduction upon funding an account, and their assets can potentially grow tax-free as they recommend when and where to give. DAF Giving 360 has over 25 years of expertise bringing donors, financial advisors, and charities together to make a greater impact. Learn more at dafgiving360.org/advisors.
Man, that was easy.
Bulldog Rotary Hammer!
Hello?
It is I, He-Man, your inner Bosch.
Inner...
Bosch!
I'm sorry, what?
That powerful feeling you get when you can powerfully blast through concrete. Say it with me.
What, like right now?
Yes! We have the power!
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There's artificial intelligence. Then there's apartmental intelligence. Yep, it's a thing. Apartments.com knows how to find the exact place you have in mind. Want a 3-bedroom condo in a walkable downtown? Done. Or that single-family home with a yard in a quiet neighborhood? Easy. With over 1 million rental listings, plus search tools that make moving simple, their apartmental intelligence can get you a place that gets you. Visit Apartments.com, the place to find a place.
No matter why you give, your donations can do so much more. With a donor-advised fund from DAF Giving 360, you can potentially grow your charitable dollars tax-free and give now or over time by donating cash, publicly traded securities, or non-cash assets like real estate and crypto. With over 25 years of expertise bringing donors, financial advisors, and charities together, DAF Giving 360 can help you make a greater impact. Learn more at dafgiving360.org.
The shenanigans continue. This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Here is a crazy one. It wasn't a person, it was somebody's dog. All right. An adventurous dog was rescued in the nick of time on Saturday after covering 100 miles during 5 weeks on the run, including doggy paddling to an island a mile off of England's southern coast.
Well, it's the only stroke he knows, Miles.
Amber's a 5-year-old retriever and was initially rescued as a street pup in Qatar and brought to the UK by a charity. She was placed with a family inside the New Forest National Park. That's in the south part of England, but stayed only one night. Now, Jess Wasworth was amazed to discover that Amber had escaped the yard with an 8-foot-high fence on April 25th. And for the next 36 days, Amber was tracked through the national park, across Hampshire and Dorset, and to the coast, where the animal then swam for a mile to a beach on Brownsea Island.
All right.
She spent 4 days on the island.
Sounds lovely.
Helped by a resident who left out food for her, then attempted, she did, to swim back to the mainland, but may not have been accounting for the tide. So 2 men in a boat. 2 men in a boat saw her struggling on Saturday. She wasn't going to make that swim back, so they turned the boat around. She hooked her paws on the ladder, and one of the lads jumped into the water and helped her out. Amber is now said to be in good condition. I have never known a dog that travels that many miles and survives. What a girl. Hopefully, Amber will have a calmer, more stable spirit as she has gone back to the home where she was able to jump over the 8-foot-high fence.
Do you think that's a home she wants to be at? She
Apparently
jumped
not.
over an 8-foot fence and then swam to an island.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Madison. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola.
Hola. So over this past weekend, my friends and I, we had about 6 boats on the Columbia. We were going down to the sandbars about 30 minutes. We're out there having a great time. We got the high wind advisory, but we didn't get out of there in time. We're on our way out. We have one boat go down motor-wise, so we're trying to tow it. We have the other boats in front of us, and we lose sight of all of them. We round the corner, and we see one of the boats sticking out of the Columbia, and all the passengers on the shore. Then we could not find the other boat that was in front of us. And come to find out, he was on the phone with one of the boat that we were towing. And pretty sure his boat goes down. We don't hear from him for hours. And
So you're saying you think he sinks the boat?
Yeah, so we're fully anticipating hearing that he died.
Okay. Now, was this like a pontoon boat in the high wind? You thought maybe the boat was blown over?
No, so he had sent us videos actually of like his boat taking on water. He then called one of our friends, and he's like, I don't know what to do. So he told the story later. He said he grabbed the first life jacket he could find, lit his last cigarette, and jumped in.
The last cigarette,
right.
I like that.
Arm up in the air.
Right, I guarantee it.
Trying to keep that baby dry.
He ain't getting wet. So how many hours did you think this guy was dead?
About 2 or 3.
And how did you find out he wasn't? Did he give you a call, or did he physically show up somewhere?
So we found out by a video being sent to us with him sitting in our kitchen in the cabin eating noodles like, I'm alive!
Wow. How somber is it for those 2 or 3 hours where you think your friend's dead?
It is the most terrifying experience of my life. I'm still reeling from it. Like, this just happened on Saturday.
Did you guys call authorities?
Down.
Like in the time that you thought he was dead,
Yeah.
you did call them and say, hey, man. But
the sheriff found him on the shore, and the only reason they spotted him because he was in a bright pink life jacket.
Jesus. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's kind of embarrassing.
Whatever works.
Yeah. Okay. So now, do they go and try to find that boat and take it out of the Columbia River, or is it forever at the bottom of that thing?
So there were actually 2 boats that went down. We were able to recover one the next morning, thankfully. The other one is currently still in the bottom of the Columbia, and Fish and Game said that he either has to pay for a non-recovery fee or a recovery fee. Either way, he has to sign it off to Fish and Game. It's no longer his boat.
Wait. How much is the non-recovery fee? How much are you going to charge me to not do anything?
$1,500, I believe they said.
And
what's the
how
recovery
much to
fee?
recover?
Recovery fee is $2,000.
So where's the boat going? Is it just going back to them?
More, yeah. I guess it's more effort to like try and get it out and all that. So they have to use more resources.
Right, but you still don't get your boat back.
Right.
No, either way, you're out of a boat.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So $1,500, we're not going to get it for you. $2,000, we will.
Where were you on the Columbia? What area?
Around Vantage. So right off I-90.
All right.
Oh, man. You're out by the gorge.
So are you on the water?
Yeah, we could see the gorge from the sandbars. So we'd been out there multiple times. It had never been that bad, and the swells were they were insane. We were all scared for our lives.
Was this the weekend that you were there, Ted?
I was going to say, was this Memorial Day weekend?
No, this was just this weekend.
Oh, I see.
All right, because you got into some crap out there.
Yeah, man. Bob Dylan played about 7 songs, and then they had to stop the concert because the wind and like these storms blew in.
Oh, really?
It rained a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, Bob Dylan only played a couple.
Were you kind of glad that of all the artists that you could see that day, that his was the set that was cut short?
Full disclosure, yes.
Yes.
How was Bob? Was he good at all? Did you know one song, anything?
So here's the deal. Billy Strings was awesome.
Yeah, you said you really enjoyed his set.
And you're dancing. It's like, and then Bob comes out, and I'm kind of, if you know the Gorge, if you look at the stage to the left, there's like a liquor garden in there.
Yeah.
Right? So we're standing there. Now, my buddy I had gone with, he does music and everything. So he's kind of off to the side watching it. He's about to have a tear. He's having a
Bob Dylan moment.
Bob Dylan's his guy. He's like, I can't believe I'm seeing
really?
Bob,
Okay.
I can't believe I'm seeing Bob Dylan. And just as I walk over and go, you know what? You're right. I should respect Dylan more. Concert's paused. Jesus. This was daytime.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hours before they got it going. But yeah, those storms flew in quick. And also, always put on your rain fly.
Mike,
I did.
Mike, what was your deal? I know it wasn't boating, but were you floating or something? And
I was
terrified the hell out of you to the point where you'll never do it again.
Yeah, I was floating the river with my brother-in-law. He had a wooded area out and behind his parents' house. That what we would do is every summer we would grab a couple inner tubes. And first off is we would run a couple cars down to the Green River crossing down there off of 169, I think is where it's at.
Nice.
And we would just stage a car down there, stage the truck down there, run it all the way back up to his folks' place, and then we would park there and we would walk about, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes down to a higher up spot on Green River, and we would float on down. That's what we would do during the summertime all the time. And it was a fun time. We had a great old time, and we tried to get it to when the river was a little bit higher because we would bottom out a little bit too much if it got too low.
Sure.
And my brother-in-law were riding on the same tube. It's one of those really big ones that can tow behind a boat. And as we're floating on down there, the water's moving fairly quickly, and we're moving up to a fallen tree that's it's still off to the side, but it's kind of hanging up and over the water there. And so my dumb ass, I think here's how we're gonna be able to bypass this thing, because we can't try to stroke our way out.
You're not going.
It's not gonna happen, right? So here's what we're gonna do: is we're gonna get our feet out in front of us. My plan is we are going to land our feet on this tree, and then we were going to try to walk or maybe hayako it around there till we'll be able to do that. I did not think about this particular angle of it, is that when you put your feet up against it and now it stops, well, that water still has to move. It still has to go somewhere, and now it's going underneath the tube, which flips the doggone tube over. So we go ass over tea kettle. We start flopping all over the doggone place. My worry is just get upright. Just get up and on top of the water, right?
Because again, your ultimate nightmare is
drowning. Yes,
but you said in shallow-ish water, right?
It's one of those. It would be an insult to injury to die that way.
To look at land and
correct.
Dry, right.
That scene from The Gray where he is literally he can reach his hands out.
His hands are dry.
Correct, but he can't. So that's
a nightmare.
That's a horrific nightmare to me.
Yeah, the wolves didn't bother Mike. It was that scene, right?
The wolves are going to kill me at some point, but that water, man, that's going to hurt. So that thing flips over, and I was able to get myself up. I was more concerned for my brother-in-law because I did not know where he was at.
Okay.
I had this inner tube basically sideways. I'm clinging onto this thing and holding my head up above water, and I can't see him. I'm hollering for him. I can't see him. His brother is now swimming over to us to try to help in any way that he can until I finally am able to move my head over to the side, and I can see my brother just clinging onto the thing the same way that I am. So we both made it out okay.
Wait, was he on the other side of the same inner tube?
He was on the other side of the same inner tube,
but
yes.
You couldn't see him based on the facts in your face.
That's right. And I'm currently trying to find, my other near-death experience happened down in Oregon up against the dunes there. My family there, we got on a kick for a while, is that we would take ATVs down there and we would ride the sand dunes that were down there. One thing that they teach you, because you actually do have to take a safety class when it comes to going down those Oregon sand dunes, is one, the dunes change all the time.
Right.
And two, they kind of build false points, if you will. You ride to the top of these dunes, and these dunes are 30 feet high, and so you've got to really putt your way on up to the top of those doggone things. And I get used to it. They're daunting at first when you first look at them, but then after a while you start getting used to it. And it's actually kind of fun. It's kind of like a little roller coaster that you can control up there. And I remember we were just traversing ground this one time. We were in Coos Bay at this point. We usually rode Florence, but we were in Coos Bay at this point, checking out some new ground. And I went up this particular dune, and it was a two-tiered thing. It came out flattened up, and then it went up the second time. My family, they went out and around, and those dunes are so big that you end up, 100 yards away from each other at any given point, just how things are working out there. And so they go around the thing. I'm like, screw it. I'll go up to the top and I'll get a bird's eye view of what we got going on out here. So I start firing up the thing, and I hit that first tabletop, that first little platform, and I'm still going. I have not stopped moving. And there, I remember, I believe this is divine intervention, man. I remember there was something that said to look over at my family, and I look over and I see hands waving like this.
Right.
And so that's like, okay, I don't know what it is I'm coming at to, but I can't stop at this point because then my tires are going to sink and I'm going to get stuck up there, and then that's when it gets really hairy. So I said, screw it, I'll just get up to the top. So I'm going up. You kind of start to turn a little bit to the side because, again, you don't know what's at the top. And as I'm getting up there, all of a sudden I see tree tops underneath me.
Ooh.
And I jam on the brakes, and I push sand over a 30-foot cliff.
Oh,
cliff. Like, there was no side that I could have
It was straight down. Yeah, it was straight down.
And the sand was compacted. So the way that these dunes are made is this rain comes down and it compacts the sand, and eventually the sand blows back over the top of it. That's how you make a dune. The sand was blown off of this thing, so now it's only compact sand. And it was blowing so hard that it was blowing sand about 10 feet off of this cliff.
So it looked like you had another 10 feet.
It looked like I still had room to go. Wow. And I jammed on the brakes, dude. And when I saw that, I got back down and I laughed about it, but I was broken down by the time we got back to the truck, man. That was another one of my worst nightmares, is flying off of a doggone top to fall to my death.
You got to pick one nightmare, man.
Man, I got a handful of different nightmares that I do not want to make.
Like, there's a lot of bad scenarios, but you need like one nightmare.
But sometimes you don't know, right? Like getting bit by a venomous snake and dying in the woods. Big nightmare.
Sure.
Or sneaking into my house, biting me on the junk. Right? Anything you got.
Very specific.
Well, it's in the sink. It's in the toilet.
Okay.
But I didn't know I was scared to death of falling off cliffs and snowmobiling until I went snowmobiling and almost fell off a cliff.
But there's a reasonable way to look at this. Now, all of us are scared to fall off of a cliff because if we get to the edge of a cliff, we will stop walking, right? It's just built in like, hey, here's a cliff. So the snowmobiling still freak you out. Obviously, almost going over a cliff.
I will never go. I will never go again.
Like if I said, dude, we're going to do this in Kansas, all right? It is flat. There's no edges. Are you still just kind of like...
I don't know. And before I left, Miles was like, dude, that's dangerous. I was like, it'll be fine. He was right. And I'm with him. I don't really know if I would do it again.
Really? Even just like flat?
Because
depends on where you go.
I mean, I flipped it one. And for people... I should say, we're up in like Chelan.
Right.
And then we went up to like the top in the woods up there. So I flipped it once and it landed upside down on the edge, but it had bucked me off. So that already scared me. But also, when you're going up and down some of these hills, like, you have to go fast.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to make it up it. So now we're kind of towards the end, and there's a lookout point. I'm like, I'm just going to take it back to the place and drop the sled off. Well, I go about 10 feet, and I go, screw it. I'll turn around and go look at that lookout. But I don't know that I can't make this turn.
Right.
So, I mean, right now, I can feel in the back of my head. I remember the back of that sled sliding off. And for a chain, for this time, I remembered, the guy said, gun it if you're in trouble. And it pulled me up out of it. But, I mean, if I had fallen off that one, I mean, you would have to wait till the snow all to melt and then find my body down there.
I was going to say,
and Mike's right. I was so shook when we got back to the cabin. Like, I was like, I got to relax. I'm going to smoke some weed. But my hands were shaking so bad, I had to ask one of my friends, I was like, this is going to sound terrible. Can you come out and light this bowl for me? I was so shook and scared. I mean, honestly, like, when that back end fell off, I was like,
this is it.
That's it.
Right.
Yep. There's that split second. We're like, I'm going to die.
How big was that cliff?
I have no
feet
idea because it's covered
just
in
white,
snow.
Right. Yeah, see, man, that's one of the things, like, when you talk about mountain climbing, right? And it's obviously it's going to be grueling. Yes, stuff is heavy. I get all that. The thing that freaks me out the most, my nightmare would be, you're doing the snow crap, and it's just these snow-covered crevasses. And I know people...
I've done it. It sucks.
Right. To me, like, no way, man. And I know you got that stick you're jamming in there, but just the
it's
idea
not that big.
of...
It's an ice axe is maybe a foot and a half.
And so what? You just keep tapping it in front.
You just kind of poke down, but I mean that's not a good idea. Think of it like don't break the ice.
Right. I'm saying, why
like
do you want people doing that though?
In case it breaks through on the front. So then you can say,
what
okay,
happens?
You back the hell up.
No, but I get that. But my thought, kind of like you're saying, don't break the ice. My feeling, look, I don't know because I'm not a mountain climber. It's like you break the ice, but it's not like it just breaks where you broke it. Like it keeps breaking,
you just fall.
man.
You just pop. You disappear. You just pop down.
And I would also say on Rainier, when they say stay on the trails, they mean it. I did a day hike, and we decided to cross this snowfield. We had no idea how dumb that was. But it's only about a foot wide, and we're like heel to toe walking across it.
No way.
And we look down, and there's a school, and the guy's teaching them how to arrest.
Yes.
And he looks up at us and just like, what in the F are you two doing? And we're in shorts and tennis shoes.
Right.
Like, and he's like, well, keep going. And then one guy passed us, and he was like, same thing. What the F are you two doing out here? We had no gear on.
Right. Jesus.
I don't think that one wasn't as scary as I don't think we realized how close we were to dying.
If you don't realize how stupid you are, right, it's not as scary.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, guys.
Hola.
Okay, so my story is I was 16, and a couple older boys, seniors, came to pick me up to go to a party. And we ended up, maybe 10 minutes later, we got pulled over by 7 cop cars with guns pointed at us and put in handcuffs. I was put in the back of a cop car, but my friends didn't tell me anything that was going on. And then apparently they had pulled a gun on somebody before they came and got me. And I was kind of lucky that the police officer, she was the mother of a girl that I played basketball with, so she knew who I was. But then she called my mom.
Well, but you don't know this has happened.
Right.
Like, as a parent, I'm like, okay, you're hanging out obviously with the wrong crowd.
But you don't know
But you don't know
crowd.
that until you do now. So, you know.
Well, then, I mean, it gets worse because my mom had to come pick me up, but I had snuck out of the house.
Right. I was going to say, I bet you the key is
there's more
she
to it.
didn't know you were gone. Did you find out? Okay, when you find out that somebody in that group or the group itself pulled a gun out on someone, were you shocked? Right? There's certain people that'd be like, I can't believe that. And then there's other people I would think, I absolutely believe that.
Yes and no. I mean, they wouldn't tell me what was going on. They acted a little nervous, but I just didn't really think anything of it. I was just dumb and going to a party. But then when they started saying something about, like, don't turn left here, and then all of a sudden all these cop cars just surround us, and I was like, what did you do? They're like, just don't ask. You don't need to know. It's better that way. But one of them, I'm definitely not. I wasn't that surprised.
Okay, so with Facebook and everything else, where are they now? Do you know?
Yeah, actually, the one that pulled the gun out, he contacted me this last year. He's like scamming girls basically around the different states. He tried to come stay with me in San Diego, and I was like,
Jesus, no,
gross.
No.
He's an idiot.
No.
I hadn't talked to him in like 12, 15 years either.
Yeah.
He's still scamming people.
Yeah. It's stupid. But my mom, that was the worst part when my mom came to get me and drove me home.
And it's amazing, how your kid logic works. Because in any situation like that, the worst part, doesn't matter what the cops said, doesn't matter what the cops did, it's all about the parent showed up. Right. Then as an adult, the worst part, strictly the arrest. I don't give a rat's ass what anyone thinks. It's like, I just got arrested. This sucks.
Yeah, if I'm in San Diego and I got a buddy who calls, I'm like, no, Ricker's on the couch, man. Couch is taken, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance, too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Ever watch your pets sleep and wonder what they're dreaming about? Maybe it's them chasing a ball on a grassy field next to your new duplex, or catching the Frisbee in front of your single-family home. Or perhaps they're zooming around the kitchen of your open-concept condo. Whatever their dream setting looks like, you can rest assured that you'll find the most pet-friendly rental listings on Apartments.com. The place to find a pet-friendly place.
Donor-advised funds from DAF Giving 360. Your clients can donate cash, publicly traded securities, or appreciated assets like real estate. It's a simple, tax-smart way to give. Learn more at dafgiving360.org/advisors.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
$50,000 to $80,000 to repair and replace a broken sewer? That stinks.
Well, that's what you get when you buy an older home.
We don't have that kind of money. I mean, who does?
Well, don't wait until it's too late. Call Pinky's.
Pinky's?
Yes, Darlene. Pinky's Plumbing. They do everything plumbing, even sewer and drain cleaning. A little preventative maintenance now will save you a big headache later. Just schedule it at pinkysplumbing.com.
Oh, thanks, Ethel.
You're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Coming up at 4:30, we will be joined by Steve Miggs, Taryn Daly from the Daily Miggs Morning Show. We'll sit and spin today round 2 of the top rock bands for every letter of the alphabet. Mike will give us a letter. We'll try to figure out the best band ever. The name started with that letter. That's coming up for you at 4:30. Right after emails on our question, was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Josh. Welcome to the men's room.
Yeah, hey, fellas, thanks for taking the call. Hey, Ted, that Bob Dylan show, that wind was crazy, man.
Oh, yeah. Were you out there, too?
Yeah. Wife and I were row 3 watching the grandstand swaying all over the place, man. It was nuts.
Yeah, will you see the equipment hanging up there? And they're like, you should get away from here. Even I was like, maybe we should move.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I kept looking up and told my wife, was like, if I grab you and we're going to run, we're going to run.
Well, based on the caller we had, it must be blown up there a ton.
I mean, look, the gorge is like I tell, because people back east can't fathom. I go, it is the best place to see a concert.
Sure.
You're also in a river gorge. The weather's going to happen.
It is a wind tunnel, literally. But yeah, it was crazy. But anyway, the reason I called, man, last summer saved a young man from drowning in Lake Peregrine. So that was a close call for him. Kind of freaky moment for everybody else. But
what was the situation?
His niece's boyfriend. So we knew him. You know, he came along. They were out there goofing around. Him and niece were goofing around, having fun, swimming around, all that kind of stuff. But I noticed he wasn't really a super strong swimmer. And then he started to struggle, and then he started panicking, and then he went down. So I think I did the fastest 35-yard swim of my life.
Were you already in swim trunks, or did you have to strip down and do the Hasselhoff run to the beach?
No Hasselhoff. I was standing knee deep in the water, already there, just watching. You know, I'm dad, so I'm in dad mode, watching the kids struggle, trying to pay attention. And
you said this kid,
you
said this dude was about 35 yards out.
Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah.
If you're not a strong swimmer, don't go 35 yards out.
How old's a kid?
He's 18. He's 18 at the time. I think he's 19 now.
So he's a man. You're going to save
legal
a
man.
Yeah, you're going to save a dude.
He's a legal man. Yeah.
So you said he
it
started.
was a tough one, man.
You said he started panicking. So when you get to him, does he keep panicking? Do you have to calm him down, or does he kind of relax and let you take over?
Oh, by the time I got to him, he was at the bottom of the lake, probably 15 feet down. So I saw him go down, kind of marked it mentally, hauled ass out there. Oops, sorry. Hauled out there and pulled him off the bottom.
Jesus. So you dove down, you grabbed his ass, and then you pushed off the bottom of the lake and got to the top with him.
Yep, here's the freaky part. He's a dark-skinned brother, right? And if not for his natural hair, I would not have found him because it was dark at the bottom and he was mixed in with all the vegetation. So,
wow.
You know, natural fro, that's what I felt with my hand. I never saw him.
Why did we have to ask you so many questions to get to this part of the story? I'm picturing you just grabbed the guy treading water, not like brother sunk to the bottom or mixed in with the vegetation, but as a fro that I can spot.
And I couldn't even spot it. I felt it by hand. I mean, I followed some of his bubbles down, but it was my hand that hit his hair first. And,
was it a friend of your kids?
Yeah, it was my niece's boyfriend at the time.
Okay. And so he was out. When you brought him to the surface, he was gone. He was out of it.
Oh, he's gone. No, he's straight up dead. He's in full arrest, everything, lungs full of water. Resuscitated him on the swim back to the beach, and, took care of him there. Somebody had called 911 in the meantime, and they showed up about 10 minutes later.
Did you used to be a lifeguard or something?
Well, here's the funny thing, Thrill. I took lifeguard class in 1982. I never worked as one.
1982.
You missed the good part of being a lifeguard.
But, did the training kick in when you went down to get this kid?
Brother, it was automatic, man. I didn't even think about nothing. It was just straight. I saw him struggling. He went down, total panic. And, I went out to where I saw him go down, followed the bubbles down. It was dark. Couldn't see him. Couldn't see anything else. Felt around for him, kind of like you're supposed to do. And sure enough, found him only because of his hair.
Wow.
Damn.
That's crazy. That is
terrifying.
I mean, kids, but at 18, I'd be like, I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
That's what everybody thought.
I'm so glad my wife
good
doesn't
for you,
listen to
dude.
this show because she wouldn't say, you could have gotten my phone.
Oh, right. Why just get it again?
It's 10 feet of water.
You can see it.
You could have got my phone. You can see the light on it.
God, that is terrifying.
That is
man.
crazy. Okay.
But the way you told the story, initially it just sounded like a kid struggling in the water. I swam out, I grabbed him, I pulled him back. No, man, he sunk to the bottom 15 feet deep in vegetation and I couldn't see him.
He's dead.
I resuscitated him on the swim back to the beach. Brother, you were underselling yourself.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot to that story, but he's just like, just pulled him out
You
of
owe
the
me
water.
a steak.
Yeah.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROD.
That's got to be a horrible feeling, too. I mean,
someone else's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. You don't want it to be
nobody wants to
your
lose
kid.
their own kid, but
Of
I'm
course.
just I can't imagine being in charge of somebody else's kid and they're drowning. Jesus.
Yeah, that is. And the thing is, even though he saved the kid and all that, it's still a horrible conversation to have with someone.
Well, I've told you, Bernie, his youngest, same thing, like him and his brother. His brother had a pool. They're all inside. The kid goes out, somehow unlocks the fence. They don't know it. They go out there. He's at the bottom of the pool.
Oh.
Now, obviously, thankfully, they dive in, they resuscitate him and stuff, but the kid didn't really remember. But when he was 5 or 6, he would just look at you and be like, Mr. Steve, I almost died.
Jesus. Wow.
Right? You're
How you doing, kid?
Hey, buddy, will you stop saying
Happy
that?
5th birthday. Cool.
Right.
Damn, buddy.
I know, but I mean, look, I love swimming. I love being in open water and stuff, but if you're not a strong swimmer, you got to be careful.
And
don't do it.
he can never break up with that niece.
I think he already did.
Yeah, he said, he
At the time.
indicated they're no longer together.
Oh, my
at the
God,
time.
you're kidding me.
Well, she dumped him because he couldn't swim.
Jesus,
Yeah,
it is.
He can't be with you.
Was it?
You can't swim.
You're not allowed at the family lakefront.
The hell out of here.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROD.
We all have a mutual friend. It's a good friend of mine.
You're banned from the cabin.
He cannot swim.
Right.
So years ago, during the pandemics, he can't do a lot of stuff. And my buddy, his father has a very nice home over on Lake Sammamish. So I said, we're going. And then I said, put on this life jacket. Like, you're going to learn to at least get in the water. I forgot to tell him, he comes up, sounds like he's dying. What are you going to tell me to hold my breath? And I was like,
Jesus God.
Come on, man.
What? Dude.
Well, what's better is, because we had him in a PFD, we had it all tightened
Oh, my
up.
God. Look.
So then later in the night,
You didn't tell me.
yeah, we're hanging out by the dock, right? Now, he's in a personal flotation device.
Yeah.
He is loving life now. We're drunk. He's like, but I've been sitting next to him treading water for half an hour. All right, we're going in.
Right.
He's like, why? I'm like, because I'm going to drown now.
Right.
I'm getting tired.
Jesus. He actually said, you didn't tell me to hold my breath.
Correct.
Why did he put his hand under the water and not hold his breath?
I mean, look, there's a lot
Does he think he's Aquaman?
Honestly, if you've never been taught swimming, I guess he just didn't think about it. So we were on a boat, and we were I'm in the water. My buddy Matt's in the water. His girlfriend's in the water. His dad's on the boat. So we're like, you're in a PFD.
Right.
Jump in. You'll come back up. We got rescue swimmers. This is fine. And he comes up. And we're like, what's wrong? And he's like, nobody told me to hold my breath.
Oh, my God.
Dude, and I know who you're talking. So I'm refraining from saying his name. If you were listening, man, look, there's a lot of things that I do not know how to do.
Oh, it's not him.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's the other one.
Jesus, how many people don't know how to swim around here?
It's the other one. And because my wife even offered to give him swimming lessons. My wife said, hey, man.
Jesus
I'll
Christ.
give you swimming, because she was teaching swimming at the time. And he turned it down because he's just uncomfortable. He's like, I'm a grown-ass man. I should not take swimming lessons. But the flip side is, but you're a grown-ass man that can't swim. I don't hold that against you.
No.
What I hold against you is not knowing to hold your breath underwater.
So what's
He's going to drown in his own shower.
Time out. So you said the learning curve on snowboarding 2 or 3 times, and you're pretty confident.
You go two.
Right?
The first day sucks. Second day you get better. Third day you know how to snowboard.
Now, as an adult, I do not remember. I kind of remember learning how to swim. I remember having swimmies on my arms, 4 or 5 years old. From that point, once I got it, it's like a bike, right?
Sure.
As an adult, you don't know how to swim. How many times do you need to go to the pool and take lessons before you start getting it? You know what I'm saying? Like, as an adult.
It'd be a few, because you got to do, like, what do they call the pedal boards or whatever?
Oh, the paddle board. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's how I learned.
What's the learning curve?
I don't know.
I mean, I was a kid, but I feel like it took me a couple weeks to really get it
We
down.
take this guy with your wife to a pool 3 times.
She's a teacher. She can teach.
Does he get this? You know what I mean?
If he listens to her, yes. She's very good at it. But
can he do it?
I think he could.
I know what you're supposed to do to ski, but I can't necessarily do it.
But you can do it.
Well, she could teach him as well. Because originally I said, I'll just teach you. Then I said, no, I'll get too frustrated with you because you're another adult.
Right. Well, she can do it.
I only get frustrated with children.
No. Hold your breath.
I'm just saying, when you coach kids, you allow something. But, like, it's so hard for me at 44 to fathom that people can't swim that I would just be like, what are you doing?
Right.
No.
But Miles, to your point, Miles.
I'm just wondering, like, as an adult, it's different.
But you said, like, so I can't ski really well. But if you slammed into a tree,
it would hurt.
No,
I might die.
And then you told us, well, you didn't tell me not to ski into trees.
No, I understand.
To me, that's the
that.
equivalent of you didn't tell me to hold my breath. Like, some things you just think are obvious, right? So even when you say teach an adult to swim, for me personally, I would think that the last thing that I need to tell them is, oh, hey, when you're underwater,
that could have been life and death
hold
right
your
there.
breath.
Jesus, what if he slipped through?
We tightened it up good.
Okay.
After that, I would have.
What was a full vest? 2 what?
No, it was a good vest.
Okay,
I mean, you know.
all right.
And then when I took him to Montana, because we were staying on a lake, that's why we stopped in Idaho. And he said, what are you doing? I said, we're buying PFDs for you. I said, I ain't spending a week.
So he got his own.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Somebody here says, I taught swimming for 15 years. Hardest part about teaching adults is getting them to relax. When they're tight, they sink. Right. Kids,
Correct.
They follow a lot quicker with that stuff.
Okay.
That's how a lot of people drown, too, and rips. Like, you just panic.
Of course.
Right? Because I think...
The one thing they tell you not to do is the thing that you do naturally, which is, hey, don't do that thing that every urge in you is here to do, which is panic. Mm-hmm. Like,
Correct.
no one panics on purpose, right? It is a response to a situation that you can't wrap your head around, right? But but don't do that.
Yeah. The thing is, too, even if you can swim in an emergency situation,
don't panic.
It's the fact that, look, we can all run. But if we just took off for an emergency situation in a full sprint,
you run faster.
There's a good chance I'm pulling a hammy. No,
guaranteed.
I'm just saying, like something. Like with swimming, it just tires your ass out. So you've got to think more of a marathon here than a sprint. Because
sure,
I mean that's the thing about swimming. If you do not do it on a regular basis, then you are not in shape to do it. So you might be able to do it, but how long can you do it and how far can you do it? That's the key. It's like running or anything else.
Well, I was watching one of those shows, one of those Maybe We Should Be Dead shows, all right? Or I Can't Believe We Survived. And it's a dude. Oh. He's there with his daughter and daughter's friend. Both of them are on the high school swimming team, all right? And I don't remember what island they were on, but they're going to swim from the mainland to this island that's maybe a half mile out, something like that. They are strong swimmers, okay? So they're swimming out there, and a couple dolphins start trailing with them, okay? And then as the story goes, keep in mind, they're very strong swimmers. An S-ton of dolphins, I don't remember the number, it's an estimate, right? But something like 60 of them or whatever, are doing this massive circle around them. And they can't figure it out at first. And then they realize the dolphins are doing this. And right, they're kind of freaking out because it's like, look, dolphins don't traditionally attack people, but we don't know what they're doing. There's a bunch, and they're keeping their distance. They're maybe 25 to 30 feet away, but they're just committed to making this big whirlpool thing, right? They don't understand why. So he goes, now we're treading water for about 10 minutes at this point because you're not going to break through the line. We don't know what's going on. And the worst part was the island they're trying to swim to was maybe 200 yards away at this point. You know, they'd almost maybe covered the distance, but now these dolphins are doing a thing. Turns out the dolphins are running interference for them because there's a shark in the area. And he doesn't know that at first. He's like, then I pieced it together because he goes down in the water, kind of intentionally, to see, like, how far down are these dolphins? And he sees the shark is trying to figure a way in, specifically to get him, his daughter, and his daughter's friend.
Jesus.
So he pops out. The dolphins are still doing their thing. So he's like, all right. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, the dolphins are trying to do us a solid, right? Either to protect us or because I hate sharks. Doesn't matter. He's like, but I can't tell my daughter and her friend, like, hey, the reason this is going on is because there's a freaking shark down there.
Also, you got to swim back.
Really trying to figure out how to get to us, all right? So he's like, I can't tell them. So now they're freaking out about the dolphins, but I'm trying to get them to calm down about the dolphins, but I can't let them know that I know what's up. So he's like, he's like, I'm just making a BS. It's like, well, this is what dolphins do when they're excited for blah, blah, blah. They kind of believe him. Now, the problem is they're running out of gas, man, right? Because they're
getting tired.
And again, super strong. So to your point, like, your buddy we were just talking about, he's dead at this point. Floaty or not, I feel like he's gone. The shark's fed. Eventually, the dolphins chase the shark off. Shark just gives up. But I think he said like 30, 45 minutes in the water. They barely make it to that little island they were trying to get to and eventually get rescued. Because they were like, so he said when we got to land, then he told his daughter and daughter's friend, like, hey, I don't want to say anything in the water, but like, dude, there was a shark trying to eat us and these dolphins trying interference.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
Nope. And, of course, somebody on the text line. Dolphins do frequently rape people, though. Yes, I know. I was leaving that part out.
All right, we got another one on X here. Gibby says, I taught adult swimming lessons in Maryland before moving to Seattle. Typically took 3 weeks at 3 times a week to get them swimming, adults. Started with the kickboard and mechanics. The biggest challenge was getting their face in the water and staying calm.
Okay.
All right.
So it's not 3 times. It's
about 9.
It's a commitment.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. That's all I was asking.
So now we know about 9 times, and you're good to go.
I've had probably 5-6 ski lessons. I still suck. So I know that's why how long is this learning curve?
Sure. But you can still ski. The difference is you can still ski and avoid a tree where I feel like if you can kind of swim, you're going to die.
Right. I could swim in a flat pool in this instance. I could not swim in a wave pool. That's my skiing analogy.
And that's fair.
So
that's fair. Hello, Shay. Welcome to the men's room.
What's Hey, guys. First-time caller, long-time listener. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you, man.
Yeah, shout out to my buddy, Big Steve. He ran into Thrill at the Pinehurst Pub a month or 2 ago. Said you were super nice.
He must have been confused with someone else.
Must have been off night.
Off night. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. So my near-death experience took place in Idaho somewhere. I was like 9. We were visiting my mom's high school friend. She has a ranch out there, and we were going to go ride horses. And I was kind of apprehensive about it. So, I'm the last one to get a horse. And by that time, they're like, so we got this guy. He's okay. And it was a huge horse. It was way bigger than all the other ones. I was like, are you sure? I'm a little kid, and they said, yeah, you'll be fine. Anyways, we're trotting through the desert, basically, out there, Idaho. And this horse, I don't know what happened. I don't think it got spooked. I think it just is not that tame. But this thing took off. And I was hanging on for dear life. It got maybe like a quarter mile away from my family and the other guys. And it jumped over this huge creek.
And you're on it.
You're just clinging.
You're on the back of this thing.
Yeah, on this little.
You're
kid
flying through the air, hanging
gigantic
onto a horse as it jumps over a creek. Is this correct?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it was a river to me,
Right. Sure. This is awesome.
So the horse lands on the other side on its front feet and butts me off, and I flip off of it and land on my back, facing up on the ground. I get the wind knocked out of me, and I open my eyes, and this horse has reared up on its back legs, and its 2 front hooves come down right next to my head.
Jesus!
What is up with this horse,
He's trying to kill you now.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he is. He hated me.
The crazy part is my parents made me get back on it.
What?
To take a picture.
No.
Are you kidding me?
little fridge magnet of me with my hat pulled over my eyes. I was crying. But yeah, that I don't think I'll ride horses again.
Yeah,
you know?
That's fair, brother.
I think it really is, man.
Good God. It's bad enough to get bucked off after the thing's gone crazy, but you're telling me that it's going to come down and try to stomp on your head.
Yeah, finish him.
Was it you or someone else who had the close call? 206-803-ROCK.
Jeez.
Vicious horse.
Hello, Mark. Welcome to the men's room.
Mark, are you there?
Yep. Hello.
Hola.
Hola.
So how'd you almost die?
So this would have been, say, the mid-'90s. I was in San Diego. So here's the situation. Rush hour traffic in San Diego, and I'm on the 405, which is the east-west freeway, trying to merge onto the I-5, the north-south.
North-south one, yeah.
Yeah. So rush hour traffic there is just as busy as, say, the 405 would be here.
Sure.
Just tons of cars. So we're all going full speed, 65 miles an hour. And I get in my eyes. As the sun is setting, it's in my eyes, and I'm merging full speed to go to the north. And when the sun leaves my eyes, the merge lane to go north is at an absolute dead stop, and I'm like just, say, 20 or 30 feet or something like that from that. I slam on my brakes, and I had an old truck, so it didn't have anti-lock brakes. A spin. And so I go from the far right-hand merge lane, and so now my truck is crossing at a perpendicular angle to traffic, 5 lanes of traffic. I didn't get hit by a single car. I spin all the way around 180 degrees and come to a rest, an easy rest on the the concrete divider there. I didn't get hit by a single car. I thought as soon as I slammed on the brakes and immediately lost control of the car, that I thought I was dead. As soon as I go across those 5 lanes of traffic, how I didn't get T-boned by multiple cars, I will never know. But suddenly, we're all going full speed, and then nothing. No traffic at all.
That is a terrifying feeling, man. By the way, I'm just going to point out, a texter texted in yesterday about a different caller. But it turns out that texter might be onto something, because they said you can tell this guy is from California. It's about a caller yesterday. They said because he calls I-5 the I-5.
Correct.
And I never gave it much thought. But then this guy's talking about San Diego, and he talks about the I-5, and I'm like, God, that is weird.
I'm just thinking about the Californians.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All the different streets.
I don't want to be this guy, but I will. It's a skit. It's funny, right? The Californians.
Yeah.
Turns out California was ahead of the national road systems. So it was the Santa Ana Freeway.
Okay, the
blah,
I-5.
blah, blah.
Okay.
So those people kept calling it the 5, the 101, and it just stuck with all the Californians.
Fun, Ted. Suck the fun out.
Yeah, really.
Now I can't even make fun of the
watch
guy.
more TV shows.
I just wanted to make fun of him.
Yes,
how we built America.
The history of roads. Coming up with TV Time with Ted.
Johnny Boulevard.
It's on the way at 5:30. Hang on for that. Get your emails on the way next to the men's room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Ever watch your pet sleep and wonder what they're dreaming about? Maybe it's them chasing a ball on a grassy field next to your new duplex, or catching the Frisbee in front of your single-family home. Or perhaps they're zooming around the kitchen of your open-concept condo. Whatever their dream setting looks like, you can rest assured that you'll find the most pet-friendly rental listings on Apartments.com. The place to find a pet-friendly place
No matter why you give, your donations can do so much more with a donor-advised fund from DAF Giving 360. You can get a tax deduction upon funding an account, and your assets can potentially grow tax-free as you recommend when and where to give. It's a tax-smart way to maximize your charitable giving from a fund with over 25 years of expertise bringing donors, financial advisors, and charities together. Make a greater impact with DAF Giving 360. Learn more at dafgiving360.org.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
A healthy life starts with great sleep. Wake refreshed with Avocado's GOTS certified organic green mattress, delivering breathable, back-loving support. Natural materials from Avocado's own sustainable wool and latex farms. Easy financing, a 1-year sleep trial, and deep, restorative slumbers. Organic sleep awaits at avocadomattress.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
It's our Daily Steve Mix and the Daily Mix Morning Show on the way. We'll sit and spin. We've got the top rock bands for every letter of the alphabet on the way. First time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
And one from our question on close calls. Guys, I was in Afghanistan doing firefighter training with the aircraft when a haboob came our way. As we're going to our trucks, a C-17 cargo plane came out of the storm to land, but he was not level with the ground. So he realized his error and pulled up and flew away. If he would have hit the ground, he would have killed everyone in the fire department.
Oh, God.
You guys are great. That from Robert. On to the birthdays, brought to you by Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from San Juan Salsa Company.
Step responsibly.
Guys, birthday shout out to my husband, Brant. He is 49. Our daughter, Allison, is also 10 today.
Huh.
So how about a fish sandwich and a Suck It Up cupcake? We are headed down to the Mariners game tonight. Go M's. Try it in some. Thanks, guys. Lots of love. That from Nicole.
2 Oregon fish sandwich. So suck it up, cupcake.
And hey, Nicole, remember, if you see me and or Mike Huck at the game today, buy us a beer.
Oh, that's how that works.
Yeah, we will let you buy us a beer.
Yeah. I also do love the irony of the fish sandwich
2 Oregon fish sandwich.
because he had Orioles colors that day. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, God, that's right, yeah. It all comes around.
He was.
You should make those two guys buy you a beer if you see them.
Who's that?
I think the listeners, if they run into you.
Yeah.
Especially Thrill. He should be easy to spot.
He's got a big fat wallet in his pocket.
Well, he's got a black Orioles jersey, orange under. You look great.
Thank you.
I just feel like it'll be a little easier to spot him than Mike, who's just in a Mariners jersey.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will let you buy me a beer. I will do that, man.
Are the Orioles any good this year? I don't even know.
No.
Are they terrible?
They're bad.
Because they were decent last year.
They were last year.
I just know, I can just tell through my friends' social media pages.
They suck.
They're bad.
They're terrible.
Yeah, they're bad.
The thing we have going for us is that the Rockies exist.
Guys, today's my 31st birthday. Can I please get some advice from Coach Ted on some stretches to do in my older age? Now that it appears it is possible for me to sleep correctly. A story from the captain would be great, too. Thanks, guys, for all you do. Love the show. That from Jordan.
All right, I don't know. You need some advice from Coach on stretches? Like the once great Kenny Powers once said, like, we're not into stretching and calisthenics. We're into real sports. Like hitting baseballs, throwing gas. I don't know, man. Honestly, look, listen, I coach the team, all right? If they're not stretched out and warm up by the time they get to me for practice, I'm pissed. Yeah. I got to find an assistant coach, one of those bending little fellas. He stretches out the boys.
I'm going to let you sit on that for a second.
Ooh, well, ahoy there and happy birthday, Ted. I feel you about stretching out the bowl.
All right.
I do it each morning. You want a story from the cat? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. There's the story of Tony the Tiger getting caught having sex with a muskox named Bella, which wouldn't be a big deal, but they were caught in the bathroom of a Chuck E. Cheese. There's also the story about Little Debbie getting charged with prostitution and drug trafficking after they found out that her oatmeal cream pies were actually made of pure cocaine. Oh, this is the story of Snap, Crackle, and Pop teaming up with the Keebler Elves in an effort to form the world's longest human centipede.
Jesus.
They didn't get the record. Crunch Berry.
They fell short.
Oh, guys, my husband is 34 today, and not only that, but I am 9 months pregnant and could pop at any moment. He's been asking me to email you guys for a birthday shout-out, maybe some dirty Germans talking about being a new dad. Thank you so much. His name is Alec, and he is turning 34. That from the lovely Hannah.
Yeah, the thing about being a new dad is the next time you visit Hannah's good stuff, it'll be a little different.
Yeah, you know, it's like moving into a new house with a 2-car garage. But you don't have the second car.
Wow. Bitches, today is the day are too cool for school. White LeBron is 39. Happy birthday to Uncle James, the coolest non-breeder ever. So can we get a big old bong rip interrupted by his favorite green beans and some dirty Germans talking about a white LeBron sandwich. Thanks, guys. That from the lovely Serena.
Green bean. What? Green bean. Okay. Green bean. Chop. Green bean. Yeah, it's your white LeBron sandwich. I would just say this. I will provide the buns. You provide the meat. And I will eat it.
Yeah, so ironically, it's the biggest thing on there is the mayonnaise. Drop some.
Yeah, would you like tater tots or couscous?
Guys, I want to give a birthday shout out to my friend Eva. She is the singing lady in our music group and a wonderful soul. She's been making people shake their groove and their moneymakers since the OG hippie days. So how about a roof that does not leak? Miles and Thrill doing some German techno. And a happy Chinooka. Thanks, boys, and LARP on from Jason in Sacramento, California. Now that's
Yeah. Yeah, why are you staring at my shorts when I'm not wearing any pants?
Yeah. And that's the time on Sprockets when we dance.
Yeah, you thought it was a yo-yo. They are my testicles.
Guys, it's my birthday. I am a solid religious listener every day. Name is Doug from Maple Valley. I turned 60. So, guys, think about the junk. Keep on being good boys. And levitate. Thanks so much. Give me your penis is too small there. And one more. But you also want to give a shout out to my dad, Paul, the man that helped make me who I am today. He is celebrating another year and made it to 70 epic years. So, can I get some dad jokes from Miles? My dad taught me an appreciation for them as well. And if you can, toast him with the beer pouring sound. Happy birthday, guys, and cheers to many more. That from Scott. Let's see here. Do I got any jokes? I might have a couple here. Oh, guys, I got a chance to see Yanni perform last night.
Congratulations, really.
Yeah. Boy, did he live up to the name.
I haven't heard a good Yanni joke in a while. You know any Yanni fans?
No.
It'll shock you.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They don't talk about it.
I don't know why.
Guys, if you are waiting for food at a restaurant, aren't you technically the waiter? Can I throw soy sauce at sad people?
Because they're salty?
No, to kick a man when he's down.
Keep a man
man
soy sauce.
And Mike, I just want you to know I had sex with a Harry Potter fan.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got Hogwarts. All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefly.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
A healthy life starts with great sleep. Wake refreshed with Avocado's GOTS certified organic green mattress, delivering breathable, back-loving support. Natural materials from Avocado's own sustainable wool and latex farms, easy financing, a 1-year sleep trial, and deep, restorative slumbers. Organic sleep awaits at avocadomattress.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Thought of that too.
You were quick, man.
I did. I can take it. Coming up at 5:08, we'll drink a toast with the shot of the day. We do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hogg with some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. North Dakota has been making good on the promise to have flush toilets at their historical sites.
Oh, all right. I'm in for flush toilets.
Right. You know, at first I was about to make fun of that, but I was like, you know what?
It's North Dakota historical site.
At some point, you have areas that don't have flush toilets that need to be upgraded. So it's like, let's get on this thing. Okay.
You think the way it went down is like, yeah, the General Assembly, like, hey, people keep paying and pooping, man.
I mean,
Miles
Miles
to get
brought
upset
it up.
about it.
He's brought it up before, but I mean, I've been out to the coast on the peninsula, and it was December. Those bathrooms were still gross.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hot, but I don't know how to explain it. You're still like, I don't want to go in here.
It's thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and again, where you were going with it, it's North Dakota. You live off of historical, tourism. Not much else going on.
There's not a whole lot
out
going
there.
on.
So, give them some good dadgum bathrooms.
Yeah. I mean, also, I feel like I'll just say it, like, people are going to North Dakota, to see the president's heads?
Is that South
Mount
Dakota?
Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore?
The president's
I
head.
feel like those people, they need a flushable toilet.
They need to flush.
You know what, man? One thing
I think it's like a little bit of an older crowd. Give them a flushing toilet.
The one thing most people don't know about Mount Rushmore, and I saw this on one of your shows, Ted, if you tilt the heads back, it's just a giant Pez dispenser. Little known fact. Yeah.
A new study found that singing to children can significantly boost their mood.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. Now you're messing with a son of a bitch.
Daddy, sing son of a bitch. Okay, kid.
There
You got it.
Honestly, when my nephew was growing up, it has actually been that long. I was supposed to do acoustic for the new originals with Eminem, so I was just rapping to my nephew while he was sitting there napping in my arms, like just trying to practice, get over it.
So they don't say really what to sing, just sing anything.
That's right, just give him a tune. That'll be nice.
Especially with kids that little. I did it with my niece. Like she couldn't have been more than one, and my mom was like, "What are you talking to her about?" And I'm like, "The guy he fielded the punt inside the 10. She needs to know this.
She's got to know, man.
Yeah, right. He broke the rule."
The Merriam-Webster word of the day: tutelage. Can anybody here use tutelage in a sentence?
Oh, I'm a little gassy today, so please excuse my tutelage.
It was with Thrill's wife's tutelage that our friend learned to swim.
Bam! Ted Smith.
I was wondering where you're going with that. What about my wife's tutelage?
Under her what?
Jesus.
What part of her body is the tutelage?
Oh, you got to ask Bart Shawn.
No. New research shows that birth control raises your risk of having a stroke. Well, it's changing your body chemistry. I got to imagine that it's going to have certain side effects.
It also lowers your risk of having a child.
That's a fact.
Right.
Brings it right on down.
We were stroking to the east.
Daddy, sing the stroke song.
No.
Stroking to the lady that I like. Man, it's because we were stroking.
The Dutch Museum is putting on display a 19th century condom that was discovered with an erotic etching on it.
Yeah. It's a fake condom.
It's a fake condom?
Look at the size of it.
I'm aware. Okay, that's fair.
Listen, man, I don't know what's going on in that country. I don't know what's going on 200 years ago, but unless Shaquille O'Neal was alive, nobody was wearing that
Well,
condom.
that's just a picture that we're seeing, man. We don't exactly know the dimensions of it.
Man, I'm telling you right. You know what
Did you see this thing, Ted?
It's the equivalent of one of those giant pizzas. You know, it's 18 feet across. No one's going to eat it. Nobody's wearing that condom.
Oh,
no.
Willie
Right.
out there. Wow.
Yeah, man. If there's more than one guy, this condom will cover both of you.
Where do they find that? It's currently
Shaquille
in
O'Neal's wallet.
It's currently in the Dutch Museum.
Oh, hey, man, I dropped that.
It's in mint condition.
The Dutch.
It has not been used.
I'm glad they added that.
It's 8 inches long.
Ah, okay.
Which, you know what? We're in action, folks. We'll enjoy that. Dutch Museum.
Yeah, never mind. I can't fit that.
A new study found that your cat knows exactly who you are by smell alone. That should shock nobody.
I would think so.
So who paid for that?
Again, we just had this argument not an argument, but like, is this a new study? What's the thing you told me today? Like,
Oh, Mediterranean diet. Good for your brain. Berries, olive oil,
Right.
nuts,
Cucumbers,
grains,
tomatoes.
fish. Good for you.
we're like, did they pay for a new study? We know that.
It's the same thing they've been saying for.
I want to study this.
Guess
Need
what else
money.
helps? Exercise.
Uh-huh.
Look out.
That'll be a new study.
A
to
little
tell you.
walking is better than none.
This one's going to make it worse, Miles. There was a recent study on why and how people need different amounts of sleep, and it revealed we're just wired differently.
We're tired.
Yes.
So the night people and day people?
Not necessarily night and day, but there's those folks that can live off of 6 hours of sleep, and they're wired like they've had 6 cups of coffee. Whereas there's people that they get 10 and they're still groggy as all hell.
We're convinced my daughter can get 14 minutes of sleep a night and operate fine.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Crazy.
I feel like-
But they did a study to figure that out.
Uh-huh.
I feel like when I was a teenager, like,
I slept in.
Me too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Unless it was the weekend.
No, I'd sleep in on the weekend.
Or cartoons.
My father would say, you think it's time to get out of bed? And one time I made the mistake
Up
of
all
saying,
day.
well, obviously, if I thought that, I'd be up. Okay, don't say that if my father should happen.
But
to
I'm
ask
saying,
you that
Ma, when you're a
question.
teenager, you're kind of done with the cartoons. But like,
Right.
I remember having like if I had a buddy over, like my mom would knock on the door and be like it's noon or like whatever. Like,
Yeah,
get
noon.
up. Right. But as an adult, it's pretty hard to do on the weekend,
You got to be sick.
or you got to stay up all night. Right.
Upwards of 5 million seahorses were seized by authorities over the last 10 years from people looking to sell them on the black market.
Seahorses.
Yes.
Who are the people buying
Those 5
seahorses?
million seahorses, they have an estimated value of $21 million on the black market.
Okay, now keep in mind, that is based on the people willing to spend that. To me,
Correct.
5 million seahorses are worth about $30.
But you see, that got me thinking, like, what other black markets do I not know about?
The Men's Room Top 10.
Careful.
The Men's Room Top
I hope you
10.
didn't Google this.
The top 10 markets you never knew existed. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Where's the beef? It's on the black market. Cow smuggling is an epidemic in India, where our bovine brethren are sacred in the Hindu culture. Well, hold on to your udders. Their neighbors in Bangladesh happen to have quite the hankering for a tasty hamburger. So, cows are purchased in India, smuggled into Bangladesh on the black market and sold at a high profit. People are willing to pay a pretty penny to get their hooves on some heifers. Bangladesh. Beef is what's for dinner.
Dear God.
Bangladesh.
So these are markets that you never knew existed. At number 10 is actually Spam. You wouldn't think that
Spam on the black market.
Spam would be on the black market, but here's the deal. Because they inundated the islands with Spam, you know, it's very, very popular over there in Hawaii, so they inundated the islands with Spam, and it became something of a local delicacy. In 2017, the demand for Spam in Hawaii got so intense that stores had to endure a rash of theft and black market for the meat sprang up. Thieves were taking it by the caseload from stores, so shopkeepers started locking it in plastic display cases the same way that they do things like cell phones and razors.
Spam.
Yeah, for Spam.
I thought part of it, too, is just because of how many soldiers were over there during the war.
I think that's how it got inundated, but I cannot believe that it's become a black market item.
Yeah, this
Stone
is just...
Chef's carbonara Spam, I swear to Christ, is amazing.
Okay.
It is absolutely fantastic. I know that sounds... Just get it in the good and crisp. You'll never know.
Breast milk.
Cambodian or regular?
Not positive. Let's see. It says, if it sounds weird at first, consider that there could be genuine need for this kind of market. Any mothers who cannot produce their own breast milk but still want a baby to be fed naturally might be interested. And it's for that reason that the underground breast milk market exists, including several websites that are dedicated to selling only breast milk. Women who have extra milk to sell will advertise it the way that you might advertise anything.
Specifically Cambodian.
And they'll actually boast of it's organic, vegan, gluten, dairy-free, so on.
I drink like a sailor.
Yeah. There you go. Breast milk. Markets that you never knew existed. You guys have heard of Mexican bologna. Have you heard of Russian cheese?
I have not.
No. Yeah. So thanks to COVID-19 and the restrictions it put on traveling around Europe, a Finnish cheese called Ultramonti is the number one illegally traded item in the country. The cheese costs €5 per kilo in Finland, but in Russia, it's going to cost you 4 times as much. Customs officials in Finland have been trying to monitor trucks from Russia that have been smuggling the cheese across the border. Some supermarkets have tried to crack down by limiting cheese sales to a perfectly reasonable 11 kilograms or over 20 pounds of cheese, incidentally.
Russian cheese.
Russian cheese. Razors. Big old market on razors. Cities around the country have had issues with thieves making off with large quantities of razors, which are very easy to hide and walk out of a store with. Over $1,000 worth of razors can easily be stashed in a fairly small bag. Reselling razors is remarkably easy because they're always in demand. They're not something that you can trace, and people could sell them easily on websites like Craigslist or even eBay.
That's so weird to me. I mean, I get it, but still.
They're just so expensive.
They are. They are. But like, if I'm going to risk going to jail for something like that, it will not be razors or Spam so far or breast milk.
Markets.
What about Mexican bologna?
Yes, maybe.
I try that.
Have you tried it yet, dude?
I forget every time I go down. I need to try.
Markets that you didn't know existed. Disney guides. If you've ever been to Disney World, you might not be aware that the lines to access attractions can be atrociously long, and it's not unheard of for people to wait hours to get access to a popular ride. But not everybody in the park has to wait that long all the time. If you have a disability, there's a second line available to help you gain access to an attraction sooner. It's a courtesy that Disney offers, yada, yada, yada. Now, the thing about these lines that allow a disabled person to jump in front is that the people who are accompanying them are also allowed to skip the line as well.
Yes, they are.
Correct. And they had to crack down on that a couple years ago. Because people kept faking injuries to be
We
in
know
wheelchairs.
you, Tony.
Yeah.
And that's the source of the market service. Who can afford it? Rates of the $130.
You can't fool us.
$130 an hour. $130.
They're looking, man. It's all good. I got this.
It does work.
Just stick with it.
It does.
Like when I went to King's Dominion in 8th grade, my first year, my buddy had a broken leg, so I wheeled him around.
Yeah.
And they just take you and go, do you want to sit in the front of the ride or the back? Or the
Nice. Hell yeah.
And then once we got there, everybody was like, could I push him? I was like, F off.
No. Yeah.
I volunteered before I knew the bonus.
Are you Bubbles from the trip? No, okay.
This was a little odd. High school cafeteria salt.
What?
Why?
Yeah. So in 2010, Barack Obama introduced the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act, regulating how public schools serve food to students. Part of these regulations included limits on certain unhealthy ingredients like sodium. Kids at one school in Indiana really liked their salt and did not take kindly to the nutrition regulations. After they put sodium limitations in place, students began selling salt for $1 a shake in their school cafeteria.
$1 a shake?
Yeah. The black market salt shakes were short-lived, and the school's principal shut it down as soon as she figured out what was going on. Yeah.
Damn. A
delicacy here in the States.
Also, like, again, as somebody that has high blood pressure and has to watch it, like, it's not the table salt. It's all the stuff you eat full of sodium.
That's right. Krispy Kremes.
Okay, I understand that. I do
Anytime a new
understand.
Krispy Kreme location's open, you can count on there being people literally camped outside, waiting to be the first to experience a brand new donut. But if you don't have Krispy Kreme location near you, you may just lament that you don't get to experience what all the fuss is about. But at least one family in Juarez, Mexico, decided that they could bring Krispy Kreme to the masses with a black market supply. The Garcia family traveled from Juarez to El Paso every single day back in 2017 to pick up dozens of donuts and then sell them to locals for 60% markup. What they're doing isn't illegal by any means. They're not smuggling the donuts or stealing them. They're just reselling for an impressive profit and proving that people will pay just about anything to get their hands on a Krispy Kreme.
Yes. I've told this story 1,000 times, but I went to that Seahawks game in London. People were they were selling Krispy Kremes, 3 of them in a box. People were losing their minds. The Europeans were like, "Oh, Krispy Kremes!"
No way.
Have they ever heard of them, or are they?
They had heard of them,
But it's
they
a legend.
They had never had one. I think the first one had opened in Ireland.
All right.
And there's like traffic jams.
Yes.
So they're selling these at Wembley, and I mean, like, I saw a Krispy Kreme guy come out of the back, full of his tray, and I mean, he was mobbed. The German guys in front of us, he looked at me and he's like, "Krispy Kreme," and I was like, "Yeah, man." And he's
They're
like,
good.
"Oh, like I've been waiting for this," and I was like,
Jesus.
"Damn,
For Krispy Kreme?
Right.
Well, when you don't know,
Right.
I mean, look, they're
would blow-
awesome. They're delicious donuts.
I would do it here.
It
If
would
you
blow
show
their
up
minds
with
to show up here that you can actually get one right off the
and
the
it just
conveyor
sits
belt.
there.
You
on
get
the
one at
kitchen counter.
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, watching those Europeans go crazy for Krispy Kremes, I was like, no, Wes.
All right, then. And I'll leave you with this one. This is the last black market that you never knew existed. Disease survivor blood.
Okay.
Possibly inspired by the Ebola outbreak of 2014, when those afraid of the virus were purchasing plasma from survivors of the disease, a black market for coronavirus survivor plasma has sprung up in the Middle East. Plasma has been successful in helping treat the disease, so those who have a ready supply in their own blood have been selling it for as much as $1,500 to $2,000 a liter.
A few things from our texters here as you're going through black market item. They suggest zebra meat. Ooh. This one makes a lot of sense. Clean urine for drug tests.
Oh, absolutely.
You can make an S ton of money on that. I cannot help you, but certainly the people that can make a lot of money. And then someone says laundry soap.
Really?
Believe it or
Okay.
not, so there used to be a little corner store, well, around the corner from my place in Greenwood, and they just had better prices than most of the other places, which is shocking, right? Because convenience stores usually jack it up. Razors are cheaper, laundry soap is cheaper, et cetera, even the cigarettes. Found out about a year and a half later, they ended up getting busted by the cops because they paid the local homeless population to go to the Safeway about 5 blocks down the road, steal their crap.
Just jack it off.
Yeah, and then so they supplied probably, well, anything that was like home cleaning or razors or light bulbs. Safeway basically bought all of that. And then because anything you bought from there had a price tag over top of the initial price tag. I never gave it much thought until they got busted, and I go, that's how they swung a good deal.
Damn,
I'm
that's
unknowingly
up.
by black market Tide Pods.
A man in Florida just pleaded guilty to stealing pool inflatables from all over town, but
Why would he do that?
You don't want to know, but I'll tell you at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, we made it to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
What time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink test. Scan Steve and Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast the Fitzsimmons family from Warrington, England. Now, their 16-year-old cat, Frankie, sadly, Frankie went missing. A few days later, they found poor Frankie on the side of the road. He wasn't doing so well, so they made the tough decision to take Frankie to the vet and put her down. And she was, in fact, cremated. Then her ashes were put in an urn, and the urn was placed in the living room. Now, that would normally be the end of the story. normally. Because later that same night, Frankie the cat came home. Turns out Frankie was not dead. He just wandered off. Meanwhile, the Fitzsimmons family feels bad because they cremated someone else's cat.
Jesus.
Yeah. They were like, oh. Meanwhile,
well, the cat had to be doing bad enough where...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was definitely doing bad.
Okay.
But the 7-year-old kid's like, it's a miracle. Parents are like, we feel awful, man. Yeah. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hole of Bichola.
Let's get a contestant online for Profile This now. 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
A healthy life starts with great sleep. Wake refreshed with Avocado's GOTS certified organic green mattress, delivering breathable, back-loving support. Natural materials from Avocado's own sustainable wool and latex farms, easy financing, a 1-year sleep trial, and deep, restorative slumbers. Organic sleep awaits at avocadomattress.com.
$50,000 to $80,000 to repair and replace a broken sewer? That stinks.
Well, that's what you get when you buy an older home.
We don't have that kind of money. I mean, who does?
Well, don't wait until it's too late. Call Pinky's.
Pinky's?
Yes, Darlene. Pinky's Plumbing. They do everything plumbing, even sewer and drain cleaning. A little preventative maintenance now will save you a big headache later. Just schedule it at pinkysplumbing.com.
Oh, thanks, Ethel.
Plumbing backs up and things get stinky. Call Pinky's.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
No matter why your clients give, their donations can do so much more with a donor-advised fund from DAF Giving 360. They can donate cash, publicly traded securities, or other non-cash assets like real estate and even crypto, while recommending grants at any time. DAF Giving 360 can offer you over 25 years of expertise, bringing donors, financial advisors, and charities together to make a greater impact. Learn more at dafgiving360.org/advisors. This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah!
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
like I have the power!
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Yes, Steven, throw hooks. Please tell everyone out. Profile This is played.
Oh, I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. All right, now look, our caller has dropped off, so you three gentlemen will be competing against one another.
Game on.
And today we offer you, let's see, Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? Seriously, where you guess the petty conflict that led to violence. And finally today, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Bite me.
See, the way you say it, it honestly feels like you're insulting me.
I said it that way on purpose.
Okay, I was going to say.
Suck it. Category, suck it.
Yeah. All right, here's your story. It's kind of terrifying. A 42-year-old Spanish man. He's been unable to ingest any food or liquids for 3 weeks after taking a sip of something at a restaurant. Pablo Gonzalez, 42-year-old businessman, he's been hospitalized since April 12th when he suffered a bizarre accident that has yet to be explained. After eating at a tapas-style restaurant with friends, he ordered a bottle of sparkling mineral water along with a glass of ice and a slice of lemon. Now, he suffered a burning sensation in his mouth mere seconds after taking his first sip of it. His reaction was immediate. He jumped out of his chair and, looking into the glass, saw that the liquid was yellowish. So he took a sip of one of his companion's Coca-Colas, ran to the restaurant's bathroom to rinse out his mouth. Now, he does recall being blinded by the pain, needed the help of his friends just to stand up, and as the symptoms weren't improving, even after drinking other liquids, they finally called an ambulance. The ambulance immediately took this guy to a hospital where doctors could only confirm that he had suffered internal burns and then try to alleviate the pain with painkillers. They're like, look, there's nothing we can do except to alleviate the pain.
He's still in the hospital.
He's in the hospital at this point.
Okay.
Let's see. They did a scope of his esophagus and stomach. They were burned and were black. And the only reason his mouth was less affected was because he had quickly rinsed it with water after the first sip of sparkling water. So for almost 15 days after this guy was unable to ingest any food or liquids. His stomach's been healing, but doctors say that his esophagus is still badly damaged. And by the way, he took his first sip of water on April 28th, 2 weeks after this whole thing went down. But doctors still can't say if he'll make a full recovery. All right, so that's his story, right? The question is, what did he end up drinking? Was it mineral water? Was it bleach? Was it window cleaner or was it vinegar? So mineral water, bleach, window cleaner, or vinegar.
What was the last one?
Vinegar.
I mean, I feel like it's too obvious, but when it comes to all of them, the most corrosive one that I can think of has to be bleach. But honestly, you would smell the bleach.
You would think.
You'd smell the bleach. You would smell the vinegar. What were the other two options there, Miles?
Window cleaner and mineral water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it was window cleaner.
Window cleaner from Mike. Okay. Ted, I'm going to go vinegar.
Nothing to base this on. Mineral water.
Mineral water. Okay. What did this guy drink that basically ruined him? Mineral water, bleach, window cleaner, or vinegar? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to The Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This Bosch 2-in-1 impact driver rules.
Oh, yeah!
That couldn't have been.
Macho Man Randy Savage indeed. Yeah, a.k.a. you're in a Bosch. I'm a macho manifestation of that feeling you get when you use that 2-in-1 impact driver.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, say it with your chest, brother. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
We'll work on that.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at Fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is up by me on profile. This we got a guy in Spain. He hasn't been able to eat or drink anything in 3 weeks after taking a sip of something in a restaurant. Guy is still hospitalized. So did he accidentally drink mineral water, bleach, window cleaner, or vinegar?
And that is a question that I pose to you, fine gentlemen. We start with our very own Mike Hawk. You went with window cleaner.
No.
Sorry, it was not window cleaner. Miles Montgomery, you went with vinegar.
Damn it.
Also known as vinegar. B. Ted Smith, I told you it was mineral water, and you said mineral water. And you are correct.
You gotta be kidding.
Dude, they cannot figure it out. They don't know if it's just his body. That's how it responds.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Not at all. It burned his insides, man.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. This is sad news.
Oh, damn it.
What?
Just like when Tinky Winky died.
What a lead-in is this?
You are the master at obituaries, Ted. I want you to read my eulogy if I die early.
I was laughing about something else in my head. Damn it. And then I remembered what the first story was.
Oh. TV Time brought to you by...
Wow. Okay, then.
You know what? Are you skipping it? For maybe I'll go back to it.
Oh, Jesus. Come on.
Coming up tonight.
Let's just get it over with.
Who's dead?
It's like saying, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Right.
Give me the bad news.
Yeah.
Just give me the bad news. Let's just get it over with. I don't want to wait for the bad news.
Now that we know what's there.
I mean, seriously.
Right.
That's why I saved the best bite as the last bite.
I don't want to be sad later.
I don't want to save the worst bite for last.
It's like coming into an email from your boss, like, we're going to have a meeting in 2 hours, and you're not going to be happy.
But in the
about it.
meantime,
okay, damn.
Yeah, I'll tell you the bad stuff at the end. I'm going to fire your ass.
You wait till your father gets home. Like, okay.
Well, that was the worst.
Yeah.
Actor Jonathan Josh died Sunday night.
Son of a bitch.
All right, this is the guy that played John Redcorn
On King of the Hill.
King of the Hill. He was also on Parks and Recs, but it is a terribly sad story, right?
No, this is horrible.
It's awful.
It's
yeah.
horrible.
So yesterday the news came out. I didn't actually talk about it yesterday, but all you read was that his neighbor had shot him
Yes.
over an argument. Well, now they were kind of reading into it. It's a lot more than that. He was gay, right? He was married to his husband. The husband said that basically, like, past January, his childhood home burned down. One of his dogs died in the fire. Years before that, they had dealt with these neighbors that were yelling homophobic slurs at him and threatened to burn it down. So they didn't know, but they're like, seems like they're connected.
Well, they couldn't pinpoint it, but the guy who said, I'm going to burn your house down, well,
It's a good place to start.
Their house burned down.
Right. So on Sunday, Jonathan and husband Tristan, they go to check their mail and found, quote, the skull of one of their dogs with its harness placed in clear view.
God,
man.
Right. Obviously, they're distraught.
Yeah.
Right. Can you imagine? Like,
No.
you think it's them. Right. It's hard to even imagine. And then these a-holes are like, oh, here, we want you to know we did it. So they're yelling, crying. This guy across the street shows up, starts yelling gay slurs again, points a gun at him, opens fire. Tristan says Jonathan pushed him out of the way to save his own life, but obviously he was struck several times, dies at the scene.
Dear God.
Yeah. So, I mean, just awful. The suspect, the neighbor, he's booked on a murder charge. I would have to think that's a pretty simple murder one charge.
Yeah.
I would say that's premeditated.
Burn him at the stake.
Yeah.
Well, the guy told the cops he did it.
Good.
Correct.
I mean, before he even got the car. So right there, I mean, why waste everyone's money?
Right.
Why I don't. I know
Let's not have a court case over this.
Just expedite the process
That's right.
a little bit.
Put him in the chair.
Expedite it. Just get him in there. He already said what he did.
Just put him in the chair.
Jesus.
Yeah, and Miles is right? The guy's like, yeah, I did it. It's obviously premeditated. You thought about it. You've already been harassing these guys forever.
Because they said the couple had reached out to the authorities before because of this guy. Just saying, look, man, he's making threats. So this was not new. This is just something that this guy did all the time to antagonize him and finally just shot this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I
Over
would say
nothing.
on a much lesser level, right? Like, I'm sure everybody in here, I don't know. Like, I remember as a kid, there was a house across the street, right, that was always rented out by students.
All right.
So, you know, it's summertime, and this one guy kept coming over, and he kept complaining, right? The dog, you know, the dog's outside, the dog barks.
So the renter's complaining to you guys.
Correct. So finally, my dad just says to him one time, like, he's just annoyed, and he's like, well, he's a dog. Well, he's outside. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not 24 hours. The guy's like, well, I'm studying. He's like, well, you must be stupid. Why are you studying in the summertime? But you could see the look in this kid's eye, right?
Wow.
Good line.
He probably thought,
That's a great line.
this guy might be right.
Right? Good line out of my dad. But you could see it in this guy's eye. He is really pissed. So, I mean, next day, we're out there. Tigger's running around. He's barking or whatever. Here comes this guy, and just like you expected, he punched my dad.
Oh,
yeah.
He punched your dad?
Oh, yeah, in the driveway.
For nothing.
Right, 'cause, you know, the dog's barking. It's like the dog's not out 24 hours a day.
Oh, my
Chill
God.
out, right? And it's like, look, it's a busy street. It's a Scottish Terrier. He's going to bark at some stuff. So, but anyhow, you could tell it was coming once my dad hit him with that.
I didn't think it did.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
We back with my band.
So that's my point. If you have issues with neighbors, sometimes, like, I could see that as a kid coming. I was, like, not shocked. They went to court and everything, and the dude got, you know, like a day or two in jail. But
We when my band used to play, man, we'd practice, and it was in a row home in Baltimore. And this lady came over one day. She's about our age, but she came over. She looked tired. She looked irritated. And look, we know it's loud, right? But like, she is pissed. But it was the same thing where she's like, look, I'm studying. And I can't remember if it was to be a nurse or a doctor, but it was the medical field. But we're young, you know what I mean? So we kind of go back and forth with it a little bit. Like, look, we got to practice. This is how we make money, right? So we got to practice. There's no way to do it quiet. But I'm trying to goddamn study. You guys do it at night. At the end of this, she would come to our practice and study at practice. And somehow, and she'd been this really cool chick. But she explained, she's like, it's very annoying to listen to you on the other side of the wall. Because it's mostly just drums, a little bit of bass. But to sit here and listen to you guys.
Sound.
Yeah. I mean, but she would come in and spread out all of her books. And I mean, we're rocking out in there, man. And it smells like dude. It is hot and it's sweaty. And this girl would just study and look calm. I mean, like, and you could see her concentrate. It'd blow her mind. You know, we're screeching through the microphones and all that. She never looked up, man.
well, that's what's annoying about when a car goes by with loud bass is that you can't hear the song, right? All you hear is the bass. So you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah,
Now,
it's
if
so
you're
much
in the
more
car,
annoying.
you're like, Jesus, man, this song hits.
Yeah. Also, the plastic in the back of the trunk is just vibrating.
Let's see. All right, these are a list of celebrities that were unfairly canceled or mistreated by the public.
Okay.
First one's an easy one. Rebecca Black. She was 13, trying to be famous when she put out that song, the horrible song Friday.
She got famous, all right.
You're right. She was 13.
I think, like they say here, in retrospect, she was 13.
Right.
And everybody's just like, this is the worst song ever made.
It is in retrospect. But to be fair, it was the worst song ever made.
Okay. The girl
But
on the,
she's
the
like
girl,
the Cars for Kids.
But the
kids.
girl, on
We're-
the girl on the plane. Who
Yeah.
was singing into the,
Shut
the
the
PA
F up.
system on the
Yeah,
airplane.
she was
right?
like 13.
Okay, same age. She chose to do that. And if people say she sucked or that was the most annoying thing ever, she's going to have to read those comments.
Oh, yeah.
This girl has no talent. How annoying. If I were her parents, I would disown her. Whatever she's reading. Okay? It's like,
None of it was positive.
she's 13.
Yeah.
That's not okay. But
But that's one flight. We don't know that girl's name.
Right.
Like Rebecca Black for years had to read how horrible she is.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
difference. You know what I mean? It's one thing. And look, I agree with you. Like Thrill and I went back, in a good way, back and forth talking about it. If that kid had been 5 or 6, I
You
go,
let it go.
All right. But when you saw how old she was, and
I get it,
also
let it
it's
go.
not on her.
Bitch, sit down.
Why did they give her the intercom?
That's the part I truly do not. It's one thing if a kid pipes up and decides to sing. I've heard that a million times. But the last thing you do is the flight attendant. You know, everyone's been trapped on this plane for 2 hours on the tarmac, mind you.
Which is hell.
There's no air conditioning.
since,
we can't open the doors. We have no beverage service. You know what'll cheer everyone up? Let's give this little zitty girl a microphone to sing some crap.
Since Let It Go,
45 minutes.
Baby Shark, the Fox song.
She sang for 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Okay. But all those songs,
Oh, my God.
they've come out. You listen to Rebecca Black now,
Yeah.
it's not nearly as agitating. It's not really, it doesn't bother me as much. Like you and Baby Shark, I
But
just
she
bounce
was
up and
the
down.
tip of the spear,
It's just-
man.
I know, but-
more garbage has come out. Like she opened the door
That's
for
what I'm
garbage,
saying.
and she might have the best garbage of the garbage that came out. But at the time, you were the only garbage in town.
Right, and when it first came out, honestly, you could tell she was young. I don't know that we all knew she was 13.
No.
So it was just like, oh, my God.
Shut
Why
the
would you
F up.
release this?
Sounds like a William Hung.
Sinead O'Connor. She never really recovered after that SNL where she tore up a picture of Pope John Paul II. This was in 92, right? She did this in protest of the Catholic Church and the child abuse.
Right.
Now, when she did this in 92, unfortunately, we had no idea how bad these scandals and child abuse
It wasn't public.
She was right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But obviously, being Irish and doing that live on SNL, she basically never got her career back.
Nope.
But like everybody's like, she had a very good point.
She was trying to tell you something.
Right? I mean, this one, people go round and round. Janet Jackson, the wardrobe malfunction.
But how did she get canceled?
She didn't get. She caught
Or
a
not
lot of
even canceled.
blowback.
She got a lot
and
of
there was
heat.
like a couple years where it was like nobody would touch her. They wouldn't give her a toy.
They pulled her music off of
No,
radio.
I know, but it was so
All that
weird
crap.
to me.
But here's the big issue:
Yeah.
is that Timberlake faced none of it.
No.
He's the guy that pulled it open.
I think they
I
were
mean,
so
think about
stunned
that.
by her nipple. Right. Just the look of it. That's all. Just like, wow, look at that thing.
But I could never wrap my head around
Is that pierced?
If I walk downtown and I rip open a woman's shirt, right, and her boobs are exposed, I can't imagine the cops telling me, hey, you go home and then take her ass to jail. Because that's basically what happened. Like, he ripped her shirt open.
I still want to know the whole story. I don't think we've ever heard it.
No.
Like, he should have gotten heat too, but I still think the both of them were like, let's show the nipple.
I'm about to say, I think this
Why
was
not?
premeditated.
Yeah,
Was she wearing a
'cause-
pasty?
Why else would he be? No, she wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Shit, it was. I
It was
think
a
there
weird,
yeah, piercing.
Trust me, I looked
Wait.
at that picture.
It's why we have TiVo.
Yes.
Because everybody was like, oh my God, did that just happen?
Why do we have Google Images? J-Lo's green dress, it was, I don't know, the Grammys or something back in
Yeah.
but all of these people were trying to find this picture the next day. So the guys at Google were like, you know what? What if we make images available? That's it. TNA sells, man.
Mike, you wouldn't remember this one. I remember it. This one's horrible. It was Richard Jewell.
Richard Jewell. Why do I know that name?
1996 Atlanta Olympics. There's a bombing.
Oh, God, yeah.
The FBI treated him as a suspect. Basically, the media and public, everybody ran with it. And like everybody they were like, he's got to be the guy and this and that.
Right.
He was not.
At all.
He was a security guard they hired for like the day.
Clint Eastwood made a movie about this guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
did
yeah.
he? All right.
Right. Because he was supposedly, he had set the bomb, but then he was the whistleblower to kind of have his 5 minutes of fame as the hero who stopped the bombing of the Olympics.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
in real life, he prevented a bombing at the
Right,
Olympics.
he found the damn
Got
thing.
raped over
He
the
did not
coals.
want to be a celebrity.
no.
No.
Right. He and then
His
he
job.
passed away back in 2007 at 44 for complications related to diabetes.
Dang.
Which I would also say at 44, somebody who's 44, go to your doctor. Some of you got diabetes and you don't know it. Seriously. Sorry. And then
Fat asses.
I can see it. I can smell it.
Mike,
I can
skinny
smell it
people
on
get
you.
diabetes
That's a fact.
as well.
That's a fact.
But I'm just saying, like, if he died from it, I'm willing to bet he might not have known. I could be wrong. He might have been type 1.
I could just see you walking down the street. You got diabetes. You need to get checked out.
Go to your doctor.
I'm going to the Mariners game, but you'll be good.
What's wrong with you?
I mean, I was pre-diabetic, but I had to change some things to get out of that zone. Let's see. I mentioned it yesterday. It's a very niche sport, but college baseball is just great. This weekend, you'll have super regionals coming up. You want to check that out. America's Got Talent is back. These are the auditions. So turn on NBC at 8 p.m. tonight if you want to see some wild and wacky stuff.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it. Headlines are coming up. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Idaho declares an emergency now dangling in the judge's hands to caress and cup with love. Meanwhile, a Florida man steals pool floats, including a banana, lobster, duck, French fries, and a dove. Man intentionally causes head-on collision trying to kill his wife. A trapped dog down in a mine shaft is lucky to still have a life. And a guy who robbed a gas station in roller skates is still being made fun of. And it's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my call.
At our top story, we go to Florida where we get some closure. For years, the case has been open involving a man that was found by police with a large white bag on a bicycle. Inside of the bag, authorities found several deflated pool inflatables and immediately knew that they had found a man that they'd been on the lookout for. It seems that our boy had made a habit of going around the local neighborhoods, sneaking into their pools, sometimes forcing entry into them, and stealing the inflatables, including a shack lounge chair, a duck float, lobster float, French fries float, pizza float, turtle float, whale float, banana float, elephant float, watermelon float, and even a bacon strip float.
I'll put my penis in that watermelon. I'm just have all the floats. That's the one I girl.
But the more disturbing thing is why he was stealing them. And Steve, you hit it right there, admitting that he uses them to sexually gratify himself.
When do you discover that that's your go-to?
He said that it was preventative from him doing something worse.
I bet it's
I don't even think what he does is bad. It's just weird.
Is it illegal? No.
He's stealing the floats is the problem.
He's stealing them.
He won't just buy them. He's going to,
Correct.
You find this guy in your backyard, he's stealing your pool floats, and then you find out later it's so he can have sex with them.
Right, and he basically told the police that I'm violating these so I don't violate a person.
Yeah.
Or he might
That's even worse.
Might want to be VP one day. I bet that's a hell of a noise. Like,
what are you doing, Gary?
Jeez, a whiz, man.
Like, does he blow them up first, or?
Well, it's a problem.
I don't know.
Does he carry them when they're inflated? Because he has to deflate them to get them in his bag. You take your time, you just knife it.
Is that basically like making up for him as he blows them up?
I think he's got to blow them up because no one wants like soggy bacon. If you're going to go at it with bacon, you want it to be nice and firm and crisp.
But then, like, does he have to like fold them, or like does he?
You got them all in that bag.
But why do you need so many? Like, you would have never been caught if you didn't just steal them out of people. Like,
you play the field, bro.
70. He had 70 different unique items in his home.
73.
When they went in there to bust him.
That's his version of a harem.
I would want to know what his favorite was. What was your favorite?
I would have to ask.
Who was the best?
Probably the duck.
He's just
Shaquille O'Neal.
Does he cut a hole in them, you think? Blow them up and then cut a hole in it?
No, he's blowing these up. He's got a headache all the time. You're going to the pool with your kids, man. Next thing you know, 10 minutes, you got a headache. I can't do this anymore, honey. You got to help me out. I seriously am getting a headache, man. Me and my headache.
He's just pleaded guilty to the burglary spree and will face his probationary sentence. So that's the whole thing, is that he pled guilty to the burglaries and he's just on probation for right now. In other news, over in Pennsylvania, local authorities are asking for the public's help. Images were released of a thief that robbed a convenience store, brandishing a knife and a handgun and threatening to shoot the clerk if they didn't give him all the money in the register. The crook was given his money and he made his clever getaway using the rollerblades that he was wearing at the time of the robbery. And while it may look silly, it freaking worked, and the man is still at large. They're asking anyone with information to come forward. The number of times that we've had somebody that use a getaway car that was way too descriptive, they tried to jump into a cop car and steal that to get away with. Rollerblades is just not that dumb when you think about it. He stole money out of a cash register. He's just wearing a hoodie with a mask on, peels the mask, and now he's just rollerblading down the damn road.
But they didn't catch him.
Right.
They also didn't catch the guy yesterday that escaped on a tractor.
Exactly.
From a prison.
That's right. That's right. Sometimes couple fights, but others take it to a ridiculous level, such as the case in North Carolina. Police arrived on the scene of a head-on collision between a Honda SUV and a Toyota sedan, finding out that it wasn't quite an accident. The driver of the SUV told police that the Toyota had swerved into them while they were driving down the road and went on to check on the passengers of the car. He told police that the man driving the Toyota was quite chatty following the accident, admitting, quote, "Oh, that's not an accident. I was trying to kill my wife and myself.
Jesus.
We were fighting each other. We were trying to kill each other. We're definitely going to the psych ward." The 4 people involved in the accident were taken to the hospital for serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The Toyota driver was also taken to jail and faces several charges.
Good. But not the psych ward.
Yeah. That might come later. You never know.
What are you in for? Tried to kill my wife in a head-on collision. Right, you
But that was
I
not
have
her.
pool noodles.
Probably not her decision.
No. Just get a divorce, guys. Yeah. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but, in lieu of killing each other, let's just get a divorce. Just call it good. But just in case those stories have a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
Down to Australia, where camaraderie saves lives. A Labrador by the name of Ted wandered away from home along with the neighbor's Labradoodle Penny.
Ooh,
Ted Penny. Are Ted and Penny going to be there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun couple, though.
It does, right?
I mean, seriously.
Oh,
she's definitely bringing dessert.
We got Ted and Penny coming.
Yeah.
You're damn right she's bringing dessert.
Yeah.
It's going to be some sort of like a 5-layer cake or
Something
dessert.
weird. Something like out of a Betty Crocker cookbook.
Damn right. Yeah.
Penny doesn't drink a lot. You get a couple drinks there. She's hilarious.
She laughs and laughs.
She's into yoga. Different one for Ted, but anyhow.
Hey, you know what? Well, you know what? He lets her go and do the yoga. Ted, stays and watches the game. The pair trekked through the woods until the fateful moment that Ted found himself stuck at the bottom of a 26-foot mine shaft.
Oh.
Luckily, Penny stayed close by until people noticed the dog and put 2 and 2 together. Rescue authorities were called and they were able to safely extract Ted up and out of the shaft to be returned to his owners and Penny to hers.
Damn right.
The mine shaft was patched up to prevent any future incidents. Old Ted and Penny.
Yeah. Not from the shaft on to Idaho. Power couple.
Damn it.
Oh, you're not going to be done, huh?
I got to be done with that one. Okay, you know what? If you wanted to know, I didn't get to it because I went to the good news, but Idaho has put in an emergency ordinance that they're calling, I don't know if I can even say it on the air, Miles. The truck nuts bill.
Yeah.
No more truck nuts?
No more truck nuts.
Because it's disturbing the children, Ted.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not
There's
pointing
a lot
them
of things in Idaho disturbing the children. All
right.
Ignore the burning cross, kids. Look at these truck nuts.
Look at those. My God.
Come on. Golly.
I get it. They're unsightly, but don't blame the kids.
Wow.
They're laughing at it.
Well, the kids are not disturbed. It's hilarious.
Right.
Adults are disturbed by truck nuts. Kids think it's the greatest thing on
The kids are
earth.
disturbed. The ones that are drawing penises on the bathroom door.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Get with the times, Idaho.
Good job, Idaho.
Children love truck nuts.
You should be scared about the people, not the truck.
Children love truck.
Yes, they do.
Sounds like a breakfast cereal.
That's a...
And children love truck nuts.
Too bad you can't tie them up in
They're
a...
just little. They look like Lucky Charms.
If you had a
when you put them in the cold milk, they get smaller.
Sugar blasted.
If you had a rat tail, you can tie them up behind your head.
No.
The truck nuts beret.
They turn the milk pink. Men's Room Sports. You've got Storm basketball on tonight on ESPN. Baseball over on TBS. But only if you're not interested in the star-studded showdown about to take place over on Root Sports and at T-Mobile Park. As the lame-ass Baltimore Orioles are in town taking on your Seattle Mariners for a 3-game series starting tonight. Have a look for Steve and myself. Buy us a beer if you find us there. As far as your weather...
I like how you do that. Buy us a beer.
Buy a Men's Room IPA.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's what you want.
And then give it to us.
That's it.
As far as your weather, we do have some clouds moving into tonight to bring things down to the mid-50s. Tomorrow, we expect some sunshine in the afternoon with a high right around 70. That's it for headlines with that. Mike Hawkins.
Thanks, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. The lovely Jolene is up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until tomorrow, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Oh, this Bosch miter saw really is smooth.
Feeling smooth.
Who said that?
It's your inner Bosch, baby. I'm that scoobity-bebop smooth feeling you get when you make smooth cuts with that moobity-mibbity-mibbity-mubbity miter saw.
So I'll just keep ski-bop sawing then?
Now you're getting it. Beep-bop-beep-bop, miter saw is my
The
favorite.
more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
A healthy life starts with great sleep. Wake refreshed with Avocado's GOTS certified organic green mattress, delivering breathable, back-loving support. Natural materials from Avocado's own sustainable wool and latex farms. Easy financing. a 1-year sleep trial, and deep, restorative slumbers. Organic sleep awaits at avocadomattress.com.
No matter why you give, your donations can do so much more with a donor-advised fund from DAF Giving 360. You can potentially grow your charitable dollars tax-free and give now or over time by donating cash, publicly traded securities, or non-cash assets like real estate and crypto. With over 25 years of expertise bringing donors, financial advisors, and charities together, DAF Giving 360 can help you make a greater impact. Learn more at dafgiving360.org.